Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckin Around. My name is Tyler,
I am Steve.
and today we are so excited to have DK Magician, also known as David Koehler, on the show. If you don't know David from either Instagram or TikTok or somewhere you've seen him, you need to check him out at DK Magician. David is an absolutely phenomenal magician. He not only works with organic playing cards as one of their video creators, he's also working with Nobody Knows. And he's just an all-around awesome guy, I have to say. We had a really great time chatting the other day with David in our pre-call, and I think we ended up talking for like 2.5 hours. So we already knew from the jump that this is going to be an amazing episode, but I'm really excited to go live with this and have all you guys join us on this awesome adventure tonight.
Yes, let's hurry up and do our sponsor so we can talk to him.
All right, so without further ado, here's a word from our sponsors.
Hummingbird Feathers mimics the shimmer of a hummingbird in motion. Meticulously created with a specialized printing process using multiple holographic foils. Stunning tuck design and sculpted embossing with master letterpress creation. Featuring limited, standard, and gilded 3-deck sets. Pre-order yours today at marvelousdecks.com. Tyler, have I told you I'm excited for those?
I mean, honestly, I am too, and I'm hoping they come soon because they look beautiful, and I really can't wait to check them out. But
Look, I'm excited.
yeah, dude, it's an exciting deck. But on that note, man, I'm excited about this episode too. So let's bring David on.
David,
What is
DK.
up, guys?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's been a good day so far.
Nice.
Hopefully this
Excellent.
doesn't ruin it, right? No,
No, listen, I mean, this show never ruins it. I promise you that. It may make you tired at the end. You may be ready for some, sleep after all the fun and excitement, but it's going to be a good time, man.
Yeah.
How have you been throughout this whole pandemic here?
It's been a very interesting time. So the crazy thing for me is that about, I guess, I don't even know what month it is anymore. December. It was about a year ago. My I don't even know what you call them anymore. I've been out of college for so long. I'm already like, my brain has shut off. My
Wait
advisor,
till you're 45, bro.
yeah. My advisor was looking at my course schedule and he goes, you only need, like, after this next semester, you only need 6 credit hours to graduate, right? And I was like, what? I was so confused because I had forgotten that I earned a bunch of college credit in high school. So he's like, if you wanted to, you take a class in the winter. I'll sign you up right now. You take a class in the summer after spring semester. You can graduate a whole year early. And I was like, let's do that because
wow,
$30,000 is not a light figure to be throwing around in terms of saving money.
Yeah,
And
dude,
so-
you can buy some cards with that.
Yeah. Actually, guys, I took the entire year's tuition that was not mine in the first place, and I spent it on cards.
Nice.
But so I did that, and I was like, well, this is great because now I'll be graduating a year early. That gives me like basically in my mind, I had like a buffer year to like really get on my feet and figure out, what I wanted to do post college, whether that be, like move out to a bigger market like LA or New York and do internships there for bigger companies and try and break into that industry or focus on this and do magic and stuff like that. And then in March, the pandemic hit and I was like, all right, well, it's fine. It's just at the beginning, nobody really thought it was going to last for more than like, a few months. And so I was like, so when I'm done with college, I'll graduate and I'll still be on track for everything. And now we're in December and I'm feeling like, thank goodness I graduated because
Right?
honestly, I think my mental health would have been if I was still in school during all of this.
yeah.
So a very roundabout way of answering your question, but I've been holding up, I think, as well as anybody can in all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's something obviously that a lot of people are struggling with. You bring up mental health and, being in university is definitely a catalyst to bring out, mental health issues when people have never gone through them, or if they have gone through them, it kind of multiplies when you go into university, right? It's with all this too, I can't even imagine.
And it's like a lot of people I know, at least, are going to college online. So
Right.
it's really that in addition to the stress of having to keep up with your course schedule and go to classes and things like that, you're also feeling that intense isolation of basically, just never really seeing people unless you live with them or, I guess if we're being safe, people, you go to the grocery store and things like that. But, the entire social aspect of it is completely gone.
Yeah.
So,
and that usually keeps people like sane when they're having difficult times, right?
Absolutely.
That's the time where people are kind of releasing stress and, going out. And I mean, I'm sure the good thing about it is I'm sure a lot of, what's the best way to put it? A lot of things that would happen in university are not happening.
Yes.
So,
the downside.
which is good. Yeah. The downsides of everything, which is good. And, hopefully that's all over soon and people can dive back into the real world again, and start communicating and interacting with people face to face.
So I went to an urgent care yesterday to get a COVID test because I'm going to see people outside of my bubble and I'm trying to be responsible. I don't want to, obviously if I know that I have it, I'm not going to go. So thankfully it tested negative. So we can all, celebrate that. But I just, there's something about, like being in isolation for this period of time that has just like completely removed any like social awareness that I did have before. Like I was talking to the nurse who was administering the test, and she was like, is there anything I should like know about like before we do the test? Are you feeling like this and this? And I was like, no, but I'm like, I am prone to nosebleeds. Because I am like around this time of year, I get a nosebleed like once every other day. They're not bad. It's just like, kind of like, oh, come on, this again. Yeah. But I was like, when you stick that thing in my nose, I just want you to know that if you pull it out and there's just blood gushing down my face, like that's fine. And she was like, well, don't worry, we have a lot of tissue. And I was like, I wasn't really concerned about that part of it. And like, while I was saying it, I was like, I should have kept that in my head. Like that wasn't very, but I was like, it's already going out.
That's funny.
So yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that, but I feel like now when I talk to people, I have to like really make an effort. Like I'm really have to try.
Yeah.
Did
you they can put it in your throat too, right?
Yeah, I did. The one that I did was just the nose. I have really large tonsils. Here's some fun facts about DK that nobody asked for. Real deep. Nobody asked for this, but I have really large tonsils, and I never had them removed as a child because I never had I had strep, or whatever it is that like tonsillitis,
tonsillitis,
yeah. So I never had them removed. So I have like a really strong like gag reflex when they do like strep tests and stuff like that. So I just opted for the nose. And as geek magicians know, the old human blockhead trick. This is nothing for having a little PCR test is nothing, but
right.
Yeah,
that's funny. Every time I see someone going through a test, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no, when she came at me with it, she's like, all right, just lean your head back and I'm just going to stick it in. And I was like, the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, I'm fine. Like, this is fine. And then I just watched it getting closer. I was like, nope, eyes closed. I'm not going to look. Like, it was just, it felt like weird. Cause like people, I talked to Cam about this actually. I don't know if Cam's in the chat. I'm not looking.
Cam is in the chat.
Well, I talked to Cam about it and he said like when he got it, it hurt. And like, I understand what he meant now because for me, it wasn't painful, but because it like induces that like crying reflex.
Yeah.
I was like crying and I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. It didn't hurt, but I feel like I should be like, I feel like it should have hurt. The nurse was just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to be back with yours.
Man, that is too funny.
Why is that guy talking so much?
I feel like she walked out of there being like, I just came here for a test.
She walked out and I could hear her talking about me. I was like, I know, like, like
dude, you should have brought a deck of cards and be like, can I show you a trick?
Can I show you a magic trick?
All right, so while you're just so we're just pick a card.
She was like there's a 5 space reveal on the end of the Q-tip.
It's like rolled up on the thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. What? Dude, you should have just had a card in your mouth the whole time and just been like, is this your card? She'd been like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's definitely one way to have a good card reveal there.
The COVID card reveal, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you should totally do something like that. Create a COVID card trick.
Dude, I'm gonna figure out how to roll up a card tight enough to stick it into my sinus, and then
you could take one of Caitlin's decks, the little mini decks.
Yes, the little mini tally hose, and stick it into my nose. Brilliant idea.
Every time, I have to say this, just because it's really hitting me strong right now, is every time I look at Tyler, I just want him to have a gray beard because he's kind of giving me the Santa Claus feels right now.
Yeah, we're in the holiday season.
Tyler, can you go ho, ho, ho for me?
Ho, ho, ho. There you go, Steve. Just because it's you.
That's true friendship right there.
Oh, my gosh.
Exactly.
You know,
If I looked like Tyler and any of my friends told me to do that, I'd be like, piss off. Like, go away.
see, for me, the beard is a once in a lifetime thing. So I was actually talking to someone about this today. I'm like, everyone has to grow a beard at least once in their life, no matter how bad it looks. You just have to like run with it, because then you can say you did and you know what it looks like. And then someday when someone's like, oh, you should grow a beard, you can be like, I did that. Here's what it looks like. If you still think I should grow one, let me know.
Like, yeah,
exactly. It gives you that like credibility. So no one's like, oh, you'd love it. But
you're doing like beard exit polling. Is that what you're doing?
yeah, basically,
I told him you should do it live. I told him you should do it live on the 24-hour show and shave it off.
Oh,
nah.
Wow. See, that's how you're going to get people to join.
I want to go for the full year, so I need another. It's going to be March. Maybe we'll do a live in March with it. But
did you start at the beginning?
Yeah, like right at the beginning. Yeah, I actually came home from work one day for a test for basically a work from home test for our company to be like, hey, if we have to go to work from home, can we survive?
Yeah.
And at like 3:00 that day, they're like, so don't come back to work tomorrow. And I was like, all right, cool. They're like, we're not sure when we're coming back. I'm like, I'm not shaving until we go back to work. Thinking that it was gonna be like a month or two. Like, oh, no big deal. Like, I'm just gonna run with it. And now, 9 months in, here I am. So I figure, if I don't make it to the whole like we go back to the office like goal line, I at least have to make it a year. So
yeah, I think you can make it a year.
Yeah.
Have you done any like trim work and stuff? Like
so I trim it down a little bit on the side. I haven't in a couple weeks.
Basically, he's saying it looks like crap. You should trim it.
No. I mean,
I know. With it?
I know it's getting a little fluffy. No, I took about an inch off it. At one point, I cut like about an inch off. So this is a little bit tame from where it could have been, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like a beard is a great like self-defense asset.
I just take jujitsu for that.
I don't know.
Okay, but you know how they say like when you're doing like self-defense against like an attacker that's like just if you don't know anything about fighting at all, right, and you're just like being ambushed, right? It's like you go throat, eyes, and the downstairs area, if you will. But like when you have a beard, someone like comes at your throat, right? Yeah, and like they don't know where the throat begins and your neck starts because you've covered it all up.
Yeah, that's very true. I could see that.
It's a shield. I mean, I hope you're not getting attacked.
No, I think the true aspect of it though, that's like the Instagram versus reality. Instagram is like you protect someone from like choking you out because of a beard. Reality is half the time I just have like rice and other things in my beard around during the day because like they fall in there and you don't know. Like there's no feeling. Yeah. Like I'll like if I'm eating lunch and then all of a sudden like 30 minutes later I'm like, let me go to the bathroom real quick. I look up in the mirror. I'm like, God, this has been in my beard for like 30 minutes. Like this is terrible. So
that's gotta be.
I shaved today.
I did too.
Oh, David. Are you even going on your face, Dave? Come on.
I could. I think. Well, so I could. It might. I think if I grew out my facial hair for a year, I might look like how you look now, Steve.
Who, me?
Yeah, I think I would look like you look now, Steve. And then if I grew it out for 10 years, I still don't think I would look like Tyler. But
you know what? Like I've always wanted it that way though, because shaving is such a pain. Like it's a
my dad cannot he will shave in the morning and like a real good clean shave if he wanted to, right? And then like literally the definition of a 5 o'clock shadow. By 5 o'clock, he's like it's fully back.
Jeez.
So I don't know what happened here, but like,
well, I think they say a lot of your like hair genes come from your mother's side. So
yeah,
that could be
it. Harry.
What?
I thought you call my mom Harry.
No, but like they say, like your mother's father.
It's like your mother's father. Yeah,
I don't know how true that is. I'm not like a geneticist or anything, so that could be 100% a wives' tale. I don't know, but
I mean, it seems to make sense to me.
Yeah,
I mean, like it matches up from what I mean, like my own personal experience. I don't know how other people are.
Like I know my grandfather on my mom's side was bald, so I just assume I'll go there one day. But like it hasn't happened yet, so I'll run with it as long as I can. I don't know.
I've been, yeah. So my dad has been telling me that like I used to have like hair like this, but I wasn't the middle part. When I was in middle school, I had like full on Bieber hair, and it was like full on, not to stereotype, but like Asian hair. I had very straight hair as a child, and then it's like gotten much curlier since I've gotten older. And so I remember like when I was a kid, my dad would always be like, "So when are we gonna buzz it off? Because you're gonna lose it all someday anyway, right?" And so then like this quarantine started and I turned 21 and I thought I might as well just grow it out while I still have it because I'm so scared. I'm not ready, Nice. But
yeah, you definitely, I don't know. This is also another thing that I'm a firm believer in. You have to shave your head at some point so you know what you look like, if nothing else.
I used to have a buzz cut.
Okay,
but like I think now as an adult, I think I could do it. If it was like a charity thing, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was like an event, like people were going to donate like a ton of money, I'll shave my head. But like the shape of my head in the back, like I can feel it and I know that it, when you just like know that it's going to look wrong and it's going to be weird. Like you're just going to look like one of the like Cro-Magnon in the Walking of Life like poster thing, like the back of your head like this. I don't need that. Not on the internet. I already get like enough people on the internet telling me that I look whack. And I'm like a magician too. Yeah. Someone DM'd me the other day and they were like, "You need to cut your hair." And I was like, "I don't even know you. Like, what are you?" It's like, this is the first DM.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, your hair is awesome, man. I wish I had hair.
Some people are just like they're just like very like,
judgy. I mean,
I don't know. And it's like weird because you expect that in like for example, if I was like an Instagram comedian, which that I find to be, a ridiculous thing to call anybody. But if I was like I would expect like that kind of like hate just based on my appearance. But just like in the magic community, I'm like, this is what we're going for now? Like the magic community?
What? First of all, what did the dude look like that said it? That's what I want to know.
I don't know how I don't know what he looked like, but I'll tell you that his profile picture was a flaming skull. So he must have been like 12. I don't know.
Either 12 or he was 46.
Yeah, there's like no in between when you have the flaming
middle of the country.
Just in the middle of Montana, telling me that I need to cut my hair.
Bald, not by choice. Definitely jealous. Like that's what it is. And honestly, like I've
reviews.
I've never understood that though either, because like hair is one of those things that should have minimal impact on your life, only because like it grows back. Like you can get the worst haircut ever, and people can make fun of you, but like who cares?
It's temporary. It's not a permanent thing.
Yeah.
It's not like a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's not like I, got like, DK Magician tatted across my forehead and then someone was like, "You shouldn't have done that." I just let my hair grow out and I didn't cut it for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I think it looks dope. That's why I asked you if you were Jewish. You kind of have a Jew friend.
That's what? Like, and the thing is that you're not the only person that's asked me that since I started growing my hair out. But it's like I've only ever gotten it.
Koehler, which is kind of
but see, the thing is, no one's ever made that connection until I started growing my hair out. So I am not Jewish as far as I'm aware. I did not do the Ancestry.com thing.
There you go.
I should have asked for the sample from my swab test. Be like, "Can I borrow that? I need to send that to."
Can I use some of that? Can I use some of that blood?
Yeah. Next time I have a nosebleed, all right, Ancestry.com. I'm just gonna fill up a file.
Here we go. Oh my god. So, well, I feel like we got real deep into this really quick. For anyone who doesn't know David,
it's been 20 minutes of us just talking about my hair. Like,
you now know David on a very intimate level, but if you didn't know David before this, David is a magician, for the most part, a magician and singer and video creator across the board. I think, on Instagram.
I didn't know he sings.
Yeah.
Not well. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, that means you have to sing tonight.
I was. Oh god. I feel like we put people on the spot so hard sometimes with magic, but I feel like that's really mean. There's warming up.
Screw magic. I want to hear him sing.
I've been doing magic since I was 11. And like, obviously I still get like a little bit of performance anxiety, but if someone says, "Show me a trick," like I'm ready to go, in person, at least. Over video is like a whole other realm of magic that I can barely even begin to understand. But like when someone tells me to sing on the spot, I'm just like, like, I don't know. Like it's like all of a sudden I have no, the Filipino half of me is just like, bye, like we're leaving, we're heading out. The karaoke skills are gone, but yeah.
We'll have you jump off the screen so nobody can see you, and we'll
Yeah, and
just press record.
I'll do my warm ups and
Oh my god.
yeah.
My
do another ad read.
Warm ups. He uses pingy, the word pingy.
Pingy? I've never heard of pingy.
Pingy. He goes pingy, 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 pingy. Oh, dude, it's a whole show.
That's wild. I've never heard pingy.
Yeah, he it's because of the vowels that are in them, or
yeah, it's like that E at the end that really. Yeah, I can see that now. That makes sense.
It's funny. I have so much video of him doing it because I've been on tour with him, and just watching him do it is
funny. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll never understand, just because I don't have any musical talent whatsoever, and like musicians astound me. Like all the stuff that they go through, the warm up. I mean, I actually watched a really cool like mini documentary at one point about a woman who's a vocal coach, and her specialty is teaching like death metal people how to scream without like straining their vocal cords. And I'm like, and she looks like someone's third grade teacher. I'm like, this is the coolest woman in the world. Like, not only does she allow your favorite singers to scream into microphones for hours on end and come out of it without too much vocal strain, but like you would never expect it. It was the weirdest thing ever. I was
so
like, oh
unassuming.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Teach me how to do that. So this is a relevant story now to what we're doing. So
Nice.
my friend Ian, who produced my EP that I put out earlier this year, and helped me, write all the music and all that. He's just one of the most talented musicians that I've ever met. He's just got such like a natural gift to it. He's a guitar player, a bass player, a singer, a songwriter. Like a producer. He does it all. Like he's just a jack of all trades, but in a good way. And we actually did a cover of a song this week. And at the end of the song, there's this kind of reverberous, like shouty, like vocal that just kind of goes like, trying to remember the pitch. It's like, but it's an octave up.
Okay.
And I didn't want to sing that in my house with my entire family here, because if it's an octave up, I'm basically just screaming. So I got in the car. I drove to an empty parking lot with my mic and my laptop, and I sat there for 10 minutes just screaming in the car.
Nice.
And then I sent the vocals to him, and he was just like, where did you record this? It doesn't sound like you're in I normally record in my closet because the clothes and the acoustics. Yeah. He's like, it doesn't sound like you're in your closet. I was like, I was in the car. And he was like, did you drive to an empty parking lot? And I was like, yeah. He goes, we've all done it. He was like, it's a normal thing. I was like, okay, all right, cool. Because I didn't want to scream.
That's funny. Dude, you got to scream. Let it out, man.
Yeah. And I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, yeah, no, I need to learn how to do that properly. Because I was like, that's how I feel right now. Man. Yeah. Pingy. I got to start doing the pingy. I got to learn.
Yeah, you got to shake your body. You got to do this.
You know what? I shouldn't do that on camera. This is not a good idea. Someone's gonna clip that, and I'm gonna regret that forever.
Right. Caitlin's gonna do it. She's on it.
Oh no, Caitlin, please don't.
She probably already has a meme done with it.
She's already posting it. It's actually already done.
I'm waiting. See, it was funny because this came up the other day about something, but I just realized now this would have been the perfect spot where we could have some clips from this and have like all of our faces on a jib jab.
Oh my gosh, jib jab! I haven't thought about jib jabs in a while. I mean, I guess we only think about the year, but like. Well,
and we thought about the other day because we were talking about it for the 24-hour stream, and I don't even remember what it was about, but we have to figure something out there. But we were sitting there, and I just thought about it. I'm like, yeah, like Caitlin, I could see Caitlin like swooping in all of a sudden by the end of this having like a jib jab of like the three of us and like random clips of it. But oh my god,
get on that, Caitlin. Jib jab.
I'm scared.
They all look at the camera, they're like jab jab, and their mouths like. They have the soft mouth.
Caitlin, if you need us to say still for a second, say so in the chat, and I'll purposely look at my camera, and I'll sit perfectly still. I'll give you a good smile.
All right, go ahead, Santa.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
right,
Tyler's not the Santa. That doesn't make sense.
Tell us. So go ahead, Tyler. You can finish your question. I interrupted. So you were saying we haven't talked about anything.
Oh, I guess kind of. And because this is a tough one, because I think you're very multi-talented in the community. You have a lot of experience across different brands and across different kind of ways of presenting yourself. I think the first time I stumbled across you was actually, it might have been the first video you did for OPC.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
When you were like opening the mailbox and you took out the pack, was that?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, first off, like, who is this dude? This video is amazing. And then it started getting into it. And I was like, oh man, this dude is really amazing. And I was genuinely surprised because I feel like there's so many people who are really good at the video side of things. There's so many people who are really good at, you know, the cardistry side of things, but not a lot of people, especially on an Instagram format, go to the lengths of like telling a full story. And I genuinely felt like you put so much effort into your videos that it kind of it was a nice, I don't want to say outlier, but it was a nice change of pace from what you would usually see on a lot of this stuff. And I guess what I'm trying to get to with that is being so multi-talented, I have a hard time explaining how you fit into the community. How would you describe your kind of like fit in the community?
That is such a good question. And it's a question that I've never gotten before. So I really appreciate it. I think for me, I don't personally find myself to be like a great sleight of hand artist, or I'm an abysmal cardist. I'm just horrible at cardistry. And I don't think that even like my video production skills are on the level of some of the people in the community who just put out these absolutely incredible videos and things like that. I think for me, and I've said this before in a couple live streams, the thing that I feel at least sets me apart is kind of my approach to the platform. I'm not necessarily trying to put out a bunch of viral content on Instagram. I'm not really trying to be the next big magician guy, like the next Sean Does Magic or the next Evan the Card guy or anything like that. I want to have my platform in order to perform magic, but also to form connections with people.
Nice.
And to kind of use that platform in a positive way. So for me, my role in the community, it feels almost like it almost feels like I'm not necessarily there for the magic, but I'm there to kind of like facilitate relationships and positive conversation within the community.
Nice.
And, you know, steering the community towards things that at least I personally think are important. Outside of magic.
That's rad, man.
Yeah. And then of course, other than that, I think for me, like you said, that one video that I did with OPC, which I've been meaning to do more videos like that. It's really not only a creative outlet, but an emotional one.
Yeah.
Something that allows me to express things that, you know, I wouldn't otherwise be able to talk about on my page, because like, you know, really the root of that video was that everything was changing and that I was not able to cope with it.
Yeah.
But I had to figure out a way to do that while still doing card tricks so that people would watch it and listen to it. So yeah, it's really just kind of striking that balance between being creative and also having a message to go along with it.
Right. Now, I mean, we obviously have talked about this, you know, in our pre-show chat, but, you know, and I know Caitlin's going to definitely have stuff to say about this, but excuse me. You know, one thing that obviously in our community that we have is a bunch of men, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely littered with men. So,
yeah.
And men aren't typically the type to share their feelings or, you know, if their struggles or insecurities, I guess you can call them.
Yeah.
You know, so just to hear you say that you were struggling and it was your way to cope and help yourself deal with what was going on, I think is very, very big of you, you know, and brave of you to do that, especially being a 21-year-old dude. You know, I think a lot of guys don't feel comfortable sharing stuff like that. So why do you share that stuff? You know, what makes you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? You know, I guess comfortable enough in your uncomfortability to do that.
No, I completely get where you're coming from with that. So mental health has always been something that's incredibly important to me. And it's not something that I really realized was so important until I was in high school. And when I was in high school, I went through a really rough period. Believe it or not, the kid that played with cards all the time didn't have the greatest time in school at first, I should say. And so I started going to therapy, and I realized that basically when you're 13, you don't really know anything about life. And I'm 21 now, I still don't feel like I know a lot about life. But what I realized in that time was that, my goodness, I had a lot of stuff just here the whole time. And I wasn't even aware of it. I didn't even know that it was there until somebody basically went and said, hey, there's a lot of stuff here. You should probably talk about that. And I wasn't fully aware of it. But yeah, it's just at that point, I think I realized that it was something that was kind of almost ingrained in me. Like, I shouldn't talk about it,
Right.
And then it felt like a release, like something that I was like, oh, actually it's good to do this, and it's good to talk about it. And so, for the past 7 years of my life, I've been trying to convince other people of the same thing.
Right.
And, my brother has autism, and, so I have been around people varying mental health issues,
Right.
and mental deficiencies and things like that. So for me, it's just something that's always felt kind of commonplace, but that I didn't realize that I needed to be so vocal about until, I hit that age. And
Right.
then, when I went to college, my goodness, I think we talked about it earlier. There's plenty of people with their fair share of mental health issues that kind of come out around that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I met a couple good guys that were, of the same mindset as me, that it was something that it was important to talk about, but I think a lot more men who were much more hesitant to speak about the things that they were going through, regardless of how obviously it was affecting them.
Right.
But then to tie it back into the community, I think that we do, like you said, have a lot of men in this community. And sometimes that can create a lot of toxicity because it's just a bunch of people that don't want to admit how they're feeling.
Right.
So for me, it's like, look, it's fine if nobody else really is going to listen, but I'm going to go ahead and say what I need to say out there and put my piece out there, because I'm not going to throw myself into this social media thing and then act like I don't have problems too.
Right. Yeah.
I
mean, we're all fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just how okay are we to talk about them, And I always say, once we share things, people feel safe to share their things as well. You know, and I think, if I was to go to Tyler and be like, yo, this is hurting my feelings, or, I'm really bummed out about this. And I think just as a human being, you're kind of more receptive when somebody's coming to you with their heart, So it's, oh, Mark, thank you very much, buddy. So I think it's just, I guess, getting the person to talk for the first time. And then after that, they may feel a little more comfortable, right? It's just, I guess, letting go of that expectation of how we think people are going to act, depending on, you know, what we're bringing to them,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that a lot of people's hesitancy to be vulnerable around somebody is because they're afraid that that person won't reciprocate that same vulnerability. So for, you know, to show someone that that they can trust you with their heart, you have to first be vulnerable with them. And that was something that I experienced quite a lot when I first started dating my current partner. She has always been kind of a very closed off person. I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this, but you know, we've been dating for about 2 years now, and she has opened up so much in the last 2 years. And I think it's because I've been so willing to open up to her. So when people, like you said, when people see that you're bearing your heart to them, they are much more likely to bare their soul to you. So we just don't have a lot of people who are willing to do that. And it's sad because, you know, we're all kind of going through this together, whether we like to believe it or not. This whole thing that we call life and consciousness. This is a very deep talk for a Deckin Around.
Welcome to Deckin Around, my friend.
Welcome to Deckin Around, existential crisis episode. But you know, regardless of, you know, what differences in beliefs from whatever, everybody is we're all existing here now.
Yeah.
And there's no sense in A, trying to go through it alone, and B, trying to go through it alone while you're dealing with your own, feelings.
Yeah.
You have to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah. For
it's
sure.
unfortunate that people feel like that there isn't somebody out there.
Well, it's really interesting too, because I think, with the advent of social media, I think the one thing, and this is kind of a positive and a negative, but especially as it goes to mental health, I think it's a positive. I think social media has made us realize, or made people slowly start to realize, that there's a lot of people who are very, very similar to us, especially in even weird ways that we thought we were unique.
Yeah.
That's all well and good because it makes you feel a little more normal. But as you start to see more people kind of dealing with mental health issues, I think that also helps you not feel as alone, as long as you're willing to realize that's there, which I think can be a big benefit. And I think, 10, 15 years ago, pre-social media in that capacity, and pre-people being so willing to bear themselves so openly on social media, we wouldn't have seen that same kind of realization that wow, there are other people going through what I'm going through. Though I feel like I'm the only one, I can see, I can tangibly see that this person is suffering from similar things to me, and so is this person, and it's out there. And I think that's one of the really great things about social media, is because it does make you realize that I don't want to say you're not unique, because that sounds terrible, but we all know, as much as we're unique in some way or another, there's probably a bunch of people out there who do the same weird things that we do. But I think it's good that in, those ways where we feel alone in a bad way, it's important that we realize that we're not.
Yeah. No, so true.
It's funny because, Tyler was saying, you're not unique, you're unique in your own way. We're all unique in our own way. But yes, there's only so many things people suffer from, and we can all relate to them. There's only so many things that we can have troubles with, whether it's a mental health issue, or a disability, or a phobia, or a situation that we kind of went through, whether it's a crime or whatever it may be. Somebody has gone through it.
Yeah.
And the minute you put it out there, you don't have to just walk around shouting it out, like walking through the supermarket being like, hey, I'm depressed, and hopefully someone will come up to you and be like, hey, me too, but I think what it comes down to is, the people that you do trust and the people that you care about, those are the people that we can talk about, and, and just let them know where we're at, where we're so used to saying, hey, how's your day? Tyler might say, oh, it's all good. When if maybe a shitty day, and maybe I just need to talk to someone, or maybe, but especially for guys, most guys won't call their guy friend on the phone and be like, I just need to talk to someone. It's more so just calling them up, being like, oh, what's up? Or texting nowadays. Who even uses the freaking phone nowadays? But I think more so texting, or, and I think this is why a lot of people are doing what we're doing. Right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden now we see live streams starting out every other day now, and I think it's because people need to interact with people, not just on a meeting. They need to do it a little more often. They need to kind of see a face that's talking about something, and just really interaction is where it's at, whether it's positive, negative, or creating the positive out of the negative,
Yeah. Kind of going off of what Tyler was talking about earlier, about how social media has kind of brought a lot of awareness to the things that people are struggling with. Just in general with mental health, I feel like we've seen a huge increase in mental health awareness over the last, 10 years or so.
Yeah. For sure.
And I remember when I was in high school, when I first started high school, I started doing public speaking. I guess it must have been, I think I started doing it my my junior year, competitively. And then I had started taking classes for it in my sophomore year of high school. And I just remembered that every time before I gave a speech, I'd get this horrible nauseousness, and my teeth would chatter, and my whole body would start to feel cold. And I never knew until I was literally in college. Nobody had ever explained it to me that I was having panic attacks. Because I didn't know. And they weren't full blown. They were more anxiety attacks. I've only ever had 2 full blown panic attacks.
Right.
And I had no idea that it was happening because nobody had bothered to tell me. We had a health class in high
nobody
school.
Nobody
talked about it. Health class at my school was like, all right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to eat your fruits, you're going to eat your vegetables, and you're not going to have sex or you're going to die. Okay? Yeah. Everybody break. Like that was Is
that an old Jewish dude from Brooklyn?
Yeah, his name was Mr. Burcham. I don't know. I'm kidding. But yeah, like that was like our whole health class. There was no like, hey, sometimes you might feel sad, which I think is something that, like,
wear a condom.
Yeah, like high schoolers just need to hear like, hey, just so you know, high school is kind of tough for everybody, and this is why. Like, you might be going through this, or this, and these are symptoms of this, and this. But like, yeah, I just had no idea that was what anxiety was manifesting itself as in me. And then going off of what you were saying, Steve, about like people needing the communication now, and like guys not wanting to talk to each other. I never really realized it until I got to college. Like, I have like 5 really close guy friends that I just like, like we're close. I don't talk to them about like this kind of stuff almost ever, right? But I have like 20 friends that are women where I'm like, all right, listen here, I gotta let me just tell you right now what's going on. And I think that, in terms of me being the kind of person that's open about mental health, that I guess I'm coming to this realization now is probably why I'm friends with a lot of women, because they're a lot more forthcoming with that information than guys are.
Yeah. Well, that and guys are douches, but we won't get into that here. we're not going to dive into that.
We don't need to go all the way in.
Yeah, we're just going to stay at the surface, okay? But I think I have mostly women friends as well. But I do have some guy, I guess a lot of my guy friends as I've grown up, I think, in kind of the community that I've put myself in, not in the card community, but like outside, with my work and people I've met through work. The guys that I kind of communicate with are more sensitive, I guess you can say. They're more in tune with their emotional side, and they're not afraid to share it, and I think once a man realizes that it's okay to say you're not okay, and realize that there's more to life than what he learns in high school and college, I think that's when we all start to grow, and like you said, in high school, like you didn't learn any of that. Can you imagine if the curriculum in high school brought up depression, anxiety, panic attacks, eating disorders? Nobody talks about any of that stuff when they're in high school. You don't find out about that stuff until you're in college, and you get into college and you're like, holy shit, like 85% of all the people in college have eating disorders. Yeah. And like, all this stuff that's going on, so I think it would be an amazing thing to see, high schools bring that up, obviously it would be beneficial for all of us.
Classes we're like, excuse me, I have a question. Oh yeah, what's your question about? So I've been feeling kind of sad lately. Okay, so we don't have time for that because we're actually going to watch this movie where this eats McDonald's for 30 days, all 3 meals. We already watched that. Yeah, we're going to watch it again because it's really good. I swear we watch that. We watch
depression.
That every year. We watch that every year. That one, I don't even remember what it is. Super Size Me. That's what
Super Size Me. Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's a brutal documentary. That was really, I think, the funny thing you bring that up to. I thought about that the other day because I was sitting there wondering, I'm like, where did these really like made for TV kind of dramatic documentaries start? And I feel like that was really one of the first. Those and the Michael Moore videos that came out around that same time. Yeah. And
Columbine and all that stuff.
Yeah. And that was when it really like all of a sudden like, and maybe before that the documentaries were the same way. Maybe that was just the time when those came out. I realized like, oh, documentaries can also be like oddly dramatic and kind of cheesy.
Yeah, we've just really seen a spike in like people being so interested in real life documentaries. And part of it, and I don't know if this is like a theory that any scholars have had, but this is just my personal opinion on it, is because movies and glorified violence like Quentin Tarantino stuff, we're so desensitized to it now. We're like, all right, show me a documentary about Ted Bundy. I want to know about the real thing that happened in real life, because we're just like so devoid of emotion. We're like, oh, if it didn't happen to real people, I don't care. You know, that guy in Django got blown up, but he was a racist anyway. So like, whatever. I feel nothing about this. But yeah, like so many documentaries have come out on Netflix now. There's this one, and I cannot remember the name of it. I'm going to have to Google it because I recommend it to everybody that, that talks about like being interested in documentaries, but it's about this case. I don't even know how to Google this. It's called Finders Keepers. Okay. I'm gonna read you the synopsis of it. Amputee John Wood finds himself in a stranger than fiction battle to reclaim his mummified leg from entrepreneur Shannon Wisnat, who found it in a grill that she bought at an auction. So this man had a grill, and I believe it was in a storage, like, you know, a storage unit that she had just bought, but he had kept his amputated foot in it. And so the whole documentary is about this dude trying to get his foot back from this lady who bought it at an auction.
And you watched it?
And I watched it. Yeah. Well, so the reason we actually watched it for class because my professor knew the guy that made the documentary. And he was like, all right, so we're going to watch this. And then we're going to, you know, I've talked to him and I've asked him questions about it so that we can have like that stuff. But the whole thing is it's just nuts. Like, even if you just watch the trailer, you'll be like, what kind of backwards town hick stuff is that? Like, this is nuts. Like,
there's so much stuff on, like, my girlfriend and I watch a ton of weird documentaries. Like, we're all about that stuff. We love crime stuff, and I'm all about it. I'm constantly talking to Tyler about it. Yeah, get me this, get me that. Yeah, I want to see real crime footage. Show it to me. I want to see it.
I'm the polar opposite. Like, I'm 100% the dude who just wants to watch like nature documentaries. Like, you want to show me like really cool like seascapes and like birds flying. I'm 100%.
I want to do that Planet Earth stuff.
Oh my god, I love
Planet Earth. I'm totally down.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that doesn't like Planet Earth.
If they did,
I don't trust them if they don't like it. I don't trust them.
Yeah, no, I'd be concerned. I'd be like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but like, it's even if you were like the least environmentally friendly person, it's visually stunning.
Yeah.
Like,
even
have you seen Baraka?
No. What is that?
Bros. You like how I did that, bros? So you need to watch Baraka.
Is this on Netflix? Can I get it on?
Documentary film with no narrative or voiceover. It explores the themes via a compilation of natural events, life, human activities, and technological phenomena shot in 24 countries on 6 continents over a 14-month period. This looks intense, but like good.
It is. And they have a version too, but the version 1's best.
There's like
version.
No voiceover.
They had 2.
Is it just footage? There's no voiceover. Is that what you said?
There's sound, but there's no voice. Nobody's talking in it.
Great.
It's amazing. It's literally, this was, I think, before Planet Earth.
1992, it said.
Yeah, it is off the hook. It was literally done. It was probably one of the first films I saw, which had amazing cinematography, like great captured footage. It was phenomenal. The opening scene is just killer. So good.
What's crazy to me about nature documentaries is that you just don't have control over whatever it is that you're shooting. Like, there's no, all right, everybody back to 1. Like, these are just penguins. They don't know what back to 1 is. So you have to get the shot. You like, if you're the cinematographer, you have to get it.
It's a lot of waiting.
There was an interesting thing about that, because I was watching a documentary and we kept being like, how are they getting these intense shots, like these super like macro shots of like a bug's eye and like all this stuff? And I'm like, this is really interesting. And it wasn't even bugs. It was in Australia, and it was like some sort of like bush like mouse or something like that. And it basically lived its entire life in this like 6 square foot like square that it would run and try and catch food in, because food would come in and like, but predators would come in. It was this whole crazy thing. But I was like, how are they getting like such close-up footage? And so after, they kind of showed like a making of, and they actually built a fake like 6 by 6 foot table, that perfectly mimicked this thing's like home, and then like put it in there.
That's wild.
So they had all these cameras built into it, and I was like, that makes a lot more sense, especially because you know it's not going to go anywhere else. It literally lives its entire life in this little 6-foot square.
Yeah.
So it was really intense, but at the same time, I'm sitting there and I'm like, now I'm wondering like, how many documentaries do this as well? Am I being lied to? Like,
I don't know if you know this, but Zac Efron is not actually Ted Bundy. Do we need to clarify that one? Okay, just got to make sure. Just got to make sure. Yeah.
So, since we've been talking, let's talk a little bit about magic, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
Just a little bit, and then we can get back into this. That way people can't be like, oh, they had David on. They didn't even talk about magic.
They just talked about depression and nature documentary.
What a depressing episode. So we'll ask the typical question that you get asked by everybody, I'm sure. How old were you, and what got you into magic?
All right. So when I was 8 years old, my dad taught me my first ever magic trick. It was just a key card trick, but I thought it was the most amazing thing in the entire world. I had this cheap souvenir deck of cards that had Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus on the back. And I took it to school with me every day when I was 8, and I would do that trick. I only knew the one trick. I would do it over and over and over again for people. And you know, when you're performing for 8-year-olds, yeah, of course I could. I mean, I could probably do it right now, but better. It's hard to do it on camera because I don't have a, you know. But like, I'm gonna dribble the cards, and we'll just pretend that you say stop because I know there's a delay, and I don't want to do that whole thing.
I'm also gonna blow you up on screen, so there you go.
Okay. Oh, great! Now I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's just imagine that somebody.
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's just imagine that somebody says stop right there. I'm not gonna look at the card. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
You can see it on the screen, right?
Yeah,
it's not like blown out or anything.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna place that back into the center of the deck there. And if you were here, I would let you give it a few cuts if you wanted to. You know, if we wanted to, we could even give it a shuffle. We won't though, because that's not how this trick works. But the 8-year-old David could not do a riffle shuffle. So even if he could, this would not go very well.
Could he do? Oh, Jesus, I can't even do it right now.
I've already forgotten what the card was. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, I know what the card was. Don't worry.
Was it the 8 of spades? Was it the 8 of spades?
No,
I don't remember.
You were close. You were close.
Was it the 7 of spades?
Yeah.
7 of spades. Okay, yeah. We're gonna pretend like that didn't just happen.
We love when that happens.
I was like, it was either the 8 or the 7. I wasn't looking close enough. Okay, but so that was the trick, and that was half the time. That's how it went when I was 8. So I was giving you a realistic representation of what it was like. Me forgetting the key card and then not doing the trick correctly. But so I did that. I did that like every day, and that was the only trick I knew from the time I was 8 until the time I was 11. And then when I was 11, I had a keyboarding class because that's what was important apparently in middle school was keyboarding, not my mental health. And it was an hour and a half block in the day. It was 2 periods long because I don't know. I guess people were really slow at typing or something. But I finished all my work, and most people finish all their work in the first 45-minute block of the class. So we basically just had 45 minutes to screw around and do nothing. And the teacher of the class had all these playing cards because the first lesson that he taught at the beginning of the year was how to throw playing cards.
Nice.
And the idea was like the whole thing was like, if you know how to do it properly, you can do it really fast. But if you don't know how to do it at all, you're never going to be able to get anywhere. And that was like a whole keyboarding metaphor or whatever. Very weird. But like,
wow.
So he had all these playing cards.
Talk about giving people an insecurity first day of school.
Yeah. So if you don't know how to throw cards, you also probably can't type. You probably suck. But anyway, so we would play cards. And I just became obsessed with the idea of being able to cheat at playing cards. And then I realized that that was dishonest. So I was like, well, what's an honest way that I can cheat at cards? And I was like, oh, just pretend you're doing a magic trick. And, you know, so I started learning like magic tricks when I was, 11 or 12. And I would do, I would perform in that class for the people that were there. And so that's kind of how I got started. And then ever since then, it's just been, a constant rise of interest and performance, I guess.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it's a very like, traditional story in the sense that like, oh, my dad showed me a trick when I was a kid. And then it's a very like, that's kind of shady story in the sense of like you wanted to learn how to con people, and then you were like, "What's an honest way to con people?"
Magic.
Magic. Got it. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Oh man, I love it. Absolutely
That's
love it.
hilarious. Did Caitlin's thing come through?
I haven't looked yet.
Oh, okay.
We'll pull it in at some point, but
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
for sure.
I'm scared. I haven't been looking
I didn't
at
know.
chat
I
at
saw
all.
the screen flicking, so I didn't know if that meant you pulled it down.
Oh,
no.
gosh. I
That's
haven't
fine.
been
Dude,
looking at
that's a cool story. So when did you like follow any magicians as you were kind of being, while you were engulfed in it,
So my favorite, this is like for me at least, like I feel my great perspective story on like how crazy, honestly, I think that my life has been. So not when I first started doing magic, but a few years into when I started doing magic, and I was like kind of like delving into more of like the actual magic sites and not just like looking at YouTube videos and stuff. So I was like on Penguin Magic and Theory 11 and Murphy's like all the time. Like that was all I did after school.
Yes.
I remember Rory Adams came out with this like the only project that he's ever done, like, publicly. And it was, I don't even remember. I think it was called Magic Road Trip or something like that.
okay.
It was called Road Tricks. And basically he came to the United States with Murphy's and they just went across the country and he taught like 10 different effects or something like that. And he would teach them in different parts of the country, and he would perform for different people around the country or whatever. And I just thought the idea of combining a like magic tutorial like bundle with like a movie documentary road trip thing, like to me that was like, that's amazing. And I became obsessed with that download. I didn't even buy it. I just loved the concept of it.
That's
And
awesome.
and
Nice.
like I was just like, I thought if I could do a thing like that, that's what I would want to do. I would want to come up with tricks and then go around the country and make a movie out of my download. I just became obsessed with that idea. And around the same time, I discovered Chris James's card trick performances on YouTube, where he was just going to like Warp Tour and like VidCon and performing for all these people, because I was like, YouTubers are cool because I'm 13. And I was like, oh man, he gets to perform for all these YouTubers that I watch. And then flash forward to 2018 and Rory Adams and Chris James are hiring me to work for them at Nobody Knows.
Yeah.
And we're like pals now.
That's
And it's
so
like
cool.
so weird because like if 13-year-old David knew about that, he'd be like kicking himself. But yeah, so like those were like the two ones that I like really like followed, like, pretty not intensely. I don't want they might fire me if they think I'm creepy now. But like
David, they know you're creepy.
Yeah,
That's why they're keeping you close.
We've been to magic conventions together. They know what's going on. And
that's why they're keeping you on the team, is because if they got rid of you because you're creepy, then they wouldn't be able to watch you.
It's over for them. They have no contact. I'm deleting them. I'm untraceable. But yeah. And then let's see. I'm trying to think of some other creators that I was like really impressed by when I was a kid. I remember Ollie Mealing always had some great stuff when I was younger that I thought was like cool. Not like downloading stuff, but his like, performance style I thought was interesting, like the way that he tells a story. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about this in a while. These are good questions, by the way. I appreciate like, we have to have like the how did you start magic questions, but like the what's your place in the community and this question have been good.
We always try to spot some new stuff,
Oh yeah, because it's important because I think there's always an assumption that not everyone watching the video is going to know who you are. So if someone rolls in and they just get right into our deep discussion we had, and then they're like, wait, why are we talking to this guy? And then it's like, okay,
like a psychologist, is he even a magician? Like,
and then to throw them off even more, it turns out you're a magician, and it just makes no sense at this point.
Yeah.
So. But no, and I think it's good because people get to know, I think, a little more of a personal side, without a doubt. And I think we all kind of forget sometimes what our role is in the community or what we want our role to be in the community. And I think, the fact that you have this idea of what you want to bring to the community, almost by itself, obviously there's a lot of work involved in it, but almost that by itself starts you on the path to contributing and being a part of the community in a way that's impactful. And, like you said, obviously, even at a young age, you knew you wanted to have an impact on, even if it wasn't necessarily magic, you knew you wanted to have an impact on a community. And if you had evolved beyond magic, I have no doubt that you still would have had that desire in whatever community you fell into. It just so happened to be that you stuck with magic and you still want to have that impact, which is amazing.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a value that was kind of instilled in me by my parents, who I'm very grateful for. I think they kind of shaped me primarily into the person who I am today. And I'm very appreciative of them and I love them very much. When I was 6, my parents asked me what I wanted for my birthday. And I was like, I don't know, which is weird because you're a 6-year-old. There's so many things
at that point. Yeah.
There's so many things you want. But like, that was I just remember like not knowing, like, you know, I feel like I don't need anything.
Yeah.
And so then my mom suggested, she was like, well, how about you get everybody to bring just whatever gifts they want to the party. And then we take all that and we just donate it to a local charity, you know, for a children's church.
That's really cool.
Like, so 6-year-old me is like, yeah, I don't know. I'm 6. Like, yeah, whatever. Let's do it. And then I ended up doing that for like another 7 years after that. I just didn't, you know, the only people that would give me presents like that I, you know, really wanted were like my parents and then like, you know, extended family but like if kids came to my birthday, they would just bring like toys and stuff. And then I would donate that to a local charity for children. So then when I started kind of garnering this platform on Instagram, which again, I'm also very grateful for, I decided that I wanted to continue to be able to use my platform now on a larger scale. It's no longer a birthday party. I've got an audience of, you know, so many people. I want to be able to take that and push it towards something positive, not just focus on like, hey, look at me, I do magic, but like, hey, look at me, I do magic. And if you want, I have merch and 100% of the profits are going to such and such an organization. And it's always stuff that I believe in, you know? So yeah, it's really like kind of doubling back on that question about my position in the community. I don't need to be seen as like the greatest magician of all time, Jabrizi, in the community. Like, I'm not going to label myself as a goat or anything like that. I just want people.
I totally snorted. I'm sorry.
I want people to like see me as like, oh yeah, DK Magician. He's pretty good at tricks, but like, have you also seen like the stuff that he's doing for such and such an organization? Like, that's cool. Yeah. I want the subtext of my title to be, oh, he's good at magic, but also have you seen this? Like, almost as if it's more important than like whatever sleight of hand stuff I'm doing.
Like, oh, have you seen his hair?
Yeah, like exactly.
Hold on. This is the perfect interlude. Oh, have you seen this jib jab that Caitlin made of us that we're gonna play right now?
Oh wait, no!
Let's see it.
We're gonna be muted while this plays. So when we come back, we may be laughing hysterically. We may be dumbfounded into silence. So so don't mind this quick interlude, everyone. This goes back to the jib jab discussion, but.
I'm like crying. I'm like literally crying right now.
Can I just say, Tyler has the best.
When the hell did I make that face?
Steve looks normal. I'm overexposed and I look like I took a dump in my pants. And Tyler looks like he smelled the dump that I took in my pants. Like, it's not fair. Why does Steve is the only one with normal frame?
Oh my God.
Caitlin did us dirty, Tyler.
Oh my God, Caitlin, your new job is making jib jabs of every single guest we have now.
Oh my God. I don't even like that is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen, but I was not expecting the faces because I was like, oh, Caitlin did say smile at one point in the chat, and I was like,
I thought she got our good.
I thought she did. When did I make that face? And I am so sorry, everyone had to see that face multiple times now.
Oh my god, that face was good. He's like,
I know. I look like someone stole something. I stole all my Christmas presents. I was left in thrilled here. Oh my god.
I have a headache now.
That was
You were an actual elf, and you were finding out that you were once again working for free. A lot of people don't talk about. Are the elves getting paid? Is Santa paying the elves? That's what I want to know.
They're getting paid in free room and board, and yes,
like,
and Christmas
food.
spirits. Christmas spirits. I hear there's a lot of rum and eggnog food.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh,
Caitlin, you're the bomb. That was amazing.
there you go. Above it, Jamie says David and Steve were so placid. Then there was Angry Elf.
Angry Elf PM.
That's pretty much Tyler. I'm gonna have to say that's pretty much Tyler's perfect elf face.
Oh my god, that would be honestly like if someone was like, "Hey, we're going to take pictures with Santa, and you're gonna have to be an elf." That would be my first like knee-jerk reaction face, and then I'd be like, "All right, fine." So that was perfectly captured.
He'd be like,
oh my god,
I don't want to be an elf.
I want to be Santa. I have the beard for it. Why are you?
Yeah. That was so good.
Oh my god! Thank you so much, Caitlin, for that. I don't even know what to say right now. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Every week, you're responsible. Every week now, you have to make one.
So, like, I
That was
just
so
want
good.
to throw it out there though too. Like, if you're not sure what to expect for the 24-hour live show, at some point we're going to be up so late that we're going to be basically cracked out, and it's going to be a lot of that. So, if you enjoyed that, make sure you tune in.
Yeah, we got some crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on no sleep right now. I mean, I don't know.
We
Maybe
tried to
you
get DK Magician for the show, but he turned us down.
I did. That guy is a jerk. DK Magician sucks. David Koehler's cool.
Yeah,
I hear he just puts out sad music on Spotify and
dude, we
donates
want to
money.
hear it. How cool? Well, I guess we can't.
We'll
Can we
link
hear
to
it?
it. You know, we can't link to it here because we'll definitely get a copyright strike, even if we get a letter from David saying it's okay.
Yeah,
But we'll definitely link to it below because we want to get him those plays. And honestly, I listened to it a couple days ago and I was like blown away. And then I was like, would it be beneficial or would he get banned if I just put it on my other monitor playing all day? I'm like, I don't want to risk it. So
hey, that's what Caitlin did. That's why I have Caitlin. Like, if you look at my Spotify analytics, it's like you have one listener from Markham, Canada, that's like listened 16,000 bajillion times. Guess what? I went into my my DistroKid account the other day. I have made a total of $20 off streaming. So let's go, guys.
Nice.
I'm rich, basically.
Oh my God.
It costs $30 to sign up for the service, but we're not going to talk about that.
That is
I'm
crazy.
not broke even on my music career yet.
That is,
nice.
You know what though? You've gotten farther than a lot of people who have sat there at a bar saying, I could be a musician and have not gotten any farther. So
that was me minus being at the bar because I was underage. But like that was me for like the last 2 years. And then the guy that I was talking about, Ian, my producer,
yeah.
one day was like, all right, we're gonna do this. And I was like, what? He was like, look, man, you're graduating, like I'm staying here, you're leaving, so we're gonna get it done. And I was like, all right. And then it happened. So yeah, I will accept.
What genre is it? Jamie wants to know.
It's very much pop. I'm very much a pop artist. I wish I could do like the rock stuff, but like my vocals just don't. I have a very pop voice. I don't have the rock vocal.
I just dropped the link in the chat too. So for anyone who wants to listen after the show, the link is in the chat. Make sure to check it out.
Appreciate it.
And it will be in the comments as well. So you guys definitely give it a listen. I thought it was awesome when I listened.
If you've been through a breakup recently, I would recommend either listening to it for closure or not listening to it because it will hurt. Because the whole thing is about the breakup of my first serious relationship that happened my freshman year of college.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a story. It's like an arc. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm obsessed with that idea. Maybe that's just me. I just like telling stories. I try and put it in.
Yeah. That's a good song. Most of the stuff we hear on the radio nowadays is trash. That's if you don't understand it.
Possibly the worst song in the entire history of the earth yesterday.
Oh man.
And it was
Friday.
Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. No, listen, I would listen to Friday before I listen to this.
Oh my God.
I need to clarify.
Friday was a hit, dude.
Friday. Listen, imagine having an entire day of the week. Like Rebecca Black owns that day.
Dude, have you seen Rebecca Black now?
Oh, she's
like,
killing it, but that song
She's
was
killing it.
terrible. That song was terrible.
No, the song
She's
was
got
bad,
an
but it was-
amazing voice.
Yeah, she
but it
really
was
does.
so bad. But here's the point: is that you can't think about like there. Everybody knows pretty much. I would not, maybe not everybody, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you talk about Friday, everybody's heard that song. She owns that day of the week, no matter how terrible the song is.
Yeah.
But here's my point. I was on YouTube, and I like to browse the trending page because I like to see what kind of things are popular. And it was Liam Payne of One Direction, and I know I have to say this. He's my least favorite of the One Direction boys. I know I have a list. But like, and then Dixie D'Amelio, the TikTok chick, and they made a song together. It's a Christmas song, and it's called Naughty List, and it's just weird. It's not good. The lyrics are all terrible. And the song, like the song is not even like, it's not catchy. It's just one of the worst pieces of garbage I've ever heard in my entire life. But anyway,
I think she's.
I don't even know anybody in One Direction. What band is that?
I think she's trying to hit anything that's TikTok related because that way she can get it on both ends where she's making the videos, but also people are using.
Song.
Which, by the way, here you go. Bow Magic just popped in to say he's a huge fan. He tuned in from the grocery store. He's got to go out and buy some more milk for his
for his Dairy Farmers of America.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Wow, I love that.
Oh,
okay. Harry Styles was in One Direction.
Harry Styles is my muse. Can I say that? Yeah. I think his solo music is incredible. There are a couple One Direction songs that I can rock with. My female friends will attest that I have listened to One Direction, but Harry Styles solo music is just so different from or at least his first album, very different from the One Direction stuff, and I just love it. Actually, the song
here's the difference between David and I. Okay, David. Maybe when you're a little older, you'll be able to say this. But David says Harry Styles is his muse. That's kind of a manly way of saying, like I would say for Justin Timberlake, I have a man crush. Okay.
Oh no, I will fully admit Harry Styles could. If Harry Styles came here with his shirt off right now, I'd kiss him square on the mouth. I would. My girlfriend would say, "What are you doing?" I would say,
I'm kissing Harry Styles square on the mouth.
What are you doing? You should be kissing Harry Styles. We should all be kissing Harry. He's a glorious man.
Oh my God.
It's Harry Styles, Silver Fox, Steve Carell, and there's probably one more in there. So, but like, I don't know. Steve Carell now?
Dude, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. I could, or Ryan Reynolds. The Ryans.
The Ryan.
I like Ryan Reynolds.
I like how Tyler's just like.
Listen, I'm 100% on board. I agree, but like, you guys were ideating over there. I didn't want.
We were bonding over our. And Justin too. Man crush.
I am totally okay with saying I have a man crush on people. I'm totally okay.
I feel like every time I think of like Justin Timberlake in my head, it's always the picture of him and Britney in their like denim outfits, and it's not flattering. Yeah, it's not flattering.
That's like pedo thoughts though. I'm like Justin, old Justin.
I'm like
Justin. He was like 20 something at that point.
Hi, Justin Timberlake.
No, but wasn't that like them from the Disney Channel?
No. This was when they were dating, and they were.
I remember. It was on the red carpet. I remember.
2001. So
yeah.
Pedo, you jackass.
Look, Steve and I are just talking about boys, all right? Look,
actually, I'm not gonna lie though. Even in the full denim outfit, he's still a pretty good-looking dude. Like,
dude, JT's the man.
Yeah,
I bought his book and I read it. He's the man.
I'm judging people's taste in the chat now. Is what I'm doing. Everybody's listing their man crushes. Idris Elba, I can
for sure.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris Hemsworth. I'm sorry, Justin. Chris Hemsworth. That's so basic. I'm sorry.
It's not. Basic.
Yeah.
It is pretty basic. That's funny. Did I come to the dude convention, bro? We're men. This is how men act.
Yeah.
This is how real men act.
This is how real. We talk about our man crushes on Harry Styles.
Oh my God, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
# bring manly men back. Am I right, guys?
Right.
Hugh Jackman has his stuff on point.
That's just because he's got Wolverine. That's it. If he didn't do Wolverine, nobody would like him.
I mean, he wasn't great in The Greatest Showman, but Just for anyone who doesn't know, here we go.
Oh,
God, man, that's horrendous.
yeah, that photo is cursed.
Like, yeah,
That's horrendous.
it's not a good one. But again, it was a different time. It was a different time, and
I don't care what time it is. That's horrendous.
yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying. Every time I think of Justin Timberlake, that's the picture that pops into my mind. It's
Really?
and I don't know why. Like, it's either that or the movie he did, Timeless, and there's a scene where he's
Which
like
is amazing.
Yeah, which he's under like an underpass, but it's blurry, so that can't be the one that comes to mind too often. It's always the damn denim suit, and I'm like, come on,
Oh my
man.
God.
Justin
Dude,
Timberlake is good looking even when he's blurry. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, exactly. I don't know.
But like, yeah,
It's so funny.
Find his top Robin hair. No. Oh my God.
So
No.
if you could meet anybody in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
It could be a musician, like anybody in Hollywood. It could be a magician, a musician, an actor, whatever. Who would you want to meet?
Breezy. No. Sorry. Gut knee-jerk reaction. That's so tough. Okay, so like, see, the thing that like really fascinates me about Harry Styles is that he really leveraged his position in one direction, not only into a solo music career, but he was in Dunkirk, and he's now in this. He's like starring in another movie and stuff like that. So I'm always so fascinated by these people who have their foot in like every part of the game. So I think the person right now that's alive that kind of epitomizes that for me is Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. Musician, writer, director, actor, all of it. Comedian, yeah. Like, so I would want to meet him just so I could just be like, hey man, like, how do you balance having so many different creative outlets? How do you decide, what it is, what for a project when you're working on it? How do you decide what role you want to fill? Because like realistically speaking, when he was working on Atlanta, he was filling multiple roles. I mean, he's in the show, he wrote the show, he created this, like, he's just such a powerhouse. I feel like that's the only reason that I would like really want to speak to him. Yeah. Harry Styles, that's like a, because that's like a fangirl or, fanboy kind of thing. Like, I just want to meet him because I think he's cute and he makes nice music for my ears. Like, it's like what.
Donald Glover is amazing. We actually saw him a couple of years ago in where were we? Maybe Madison Square Garden, and he came up into like the stands and was maybe like 5 feet away. It was crazy. I fanboyed a little bit there. I was like, oh my God, I got my camera out. I took a picture. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, he's epically talented. I mean, I think, and it's funny because I think, and this is going to sound weird saying it considering everything that happened after with Michael Jackson, but he is that like, I think he has the capability of being that iconic person of the generation, the way Michael Jackson was when he was in his prime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Donald Glover?
Yeah.
And let's just hope that he's
got his hands in so many things. He really is such a creative genius. And yeah, as long as, tragedy doesn't strike or he doesn't kind of go off the rails, like, I think he's got a really, I mean, I don't even want to say like a bright future. The dude's already like crushing it, but like, I think he has so much more runway in front of him.
I think those two figures are almost, they would both reach the same level of iconic, but in very different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just because of the stuff, of course, that's come out in recent years, which I'm going to go on a tangent again because we love tangents on this show and we love tangents on this episode. But I remember a lot of stuff happened to me in middle school. I don't know what this is. I was at Disney World with my family. My family loves Disney, and we were at Disney World, and I just remember it was blazing hot. It was the middle of the summer, and I was like, we just got to find something inside to do. And I didn't really know anything about like, I was not as engulfed in the Disney culture as I could say that I guess I am now because of my father and his family being so obsessed about it. So I was just like looking around. We're at Epcot and I was like, oh, look, there's a 5-minute wait for Captain EO, which was like the Michael Jackson holographic show ride thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, can we go to Captain EO? It's inside and there's only a 5-minute wait. And my dad said, I will take you to anything but Captain EO. And I said, why not? And he goes, because that man is a pedophile. And then we walked away. And I was like, the king of pop is a pedophile? And my dad was like, I'm not going to explain this to you. You're 11 years old, but like, we're not going. So then I remember like, you know, when all the stuff like started like really coming to the surface and like did the Back to Neverland documentary came out and everybody was like, oh my God, Michael Jackson was doing all this. I was like, yeah. Like, get on the train.
My dad told me when I was 11.
My dad told me when I was 11.
Where have you guys
told
been?
me about it where have you guys? You guys are not on this level of consciousness yet. But yeah, anyway, I think they could. Donald Glover. Back to the original topic. I think Donald Glover and Michael Jackson are going to reach the same level of icon. But just in very different ways. No,
not even close. Not even close.
Do you think? Why? Because Michael Jackson is.
Why? Because nobody knows who Donald Glover is, and Michael Jackson was known throughout the world. Literally, people would cry and faint, and like nobody knows who Donald Glover is.
But do you think that's because of like? Do you think it's Donald Glover's personality that, like, you know, because he's a much more private person, he's not as much of a public figure, or is it just because he just doesn't have the factor? You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't have anything Michael Jackson had.
Who would you say for this generation? Do you see anybody reaching that level of iconic, that level of fame that you think
I think the only person, there's probably a couple people that are like in our time kind of, but male, I would say Justin Bieber. And that is what
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's literally the only person. And for females, I would say the only person would be Beyonce.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think Beyonce. I think
other
Beyonce's
than
already
that,
kind of you know what's crazy is Beyonce like put out an album. I didn't hear anything about it. Like, and she's like put out music and stuff.
I'm not a big fan of Beyonce.
It's not even that I'm not a big fan. It's just I feel like I don't know. It's like nobody was talking about it. At least nobody that I know. And it might have something to do with the fact that I don't know if she's exclusively Tidal or whatever the Jay-Z streaming services that nobody wants to pay for. But
what was that called again?
It's called Tidal. Tidal.
Tidal. That's what it was. Yeah.
Like, homie, just put your stuff on Spotify. Like, I get we're trying to be like this Google and like, you know, keep everything coming in from one source. But like, you're rich enough. You'll be all right. Yeah, I was gonna say Jay-Z and Beyonce, I think, are fine.
Yeah,
like,
they're doing well.
They can disappear into the mountains and never come down with their kids, and it would be
nobody would care.
It would be okay. They have, but, you know.
Yeah, I'd say the only person is Justin
Bieber. Bieber really. The thing is that he's like such a polarizing figure still, which is insane to me.
He's changing though. A lot of his new songs are all about like him, you know, turning into this positive person, basically growing up is what it comes
I don't even like. It's not that I even like. I don't listen to his music. But I also like don't like vehemently like hate his stuff. But like the people that are still out to get him, I'm just like, dude, it is not 2011 anymore. Like the only reason that any teenage boy hated Justin Bieber is because the girls were talking about Justin Bieber and not them.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a jealousy factor.
I know all the lyrics. I'm not gonna. I like Baby. I like that One Direction song. That's What Makes You Beautiful. I was 12. You know, like good music was good music. All right, like the only reason that anybody all had Justin Bieber. All the kids in I swear, all the kids in my middle school, we had Justin Bieber hair. We all were doing this because Bieber was doing it. All right, and we can't pretend like we weren't. Stop pretending like you were. You know, like you're not better than everybody else. We all like Justin. My rant. We all like Justin Bieber. Okay,
dude. I think watch his new documentary on YouTube.
Is it good? I haven't watched it.
Watch it. It's really good. I would definitely watch it. I didn't like Justin Bieber just because I'm not a big fan of like, you know, like when he was a kid and he was, you know, not a kid, but when he was like a teenager in low 20s peeing in mop buckets and
like, Bill Clinton. Yeah, I remember that video.
Doing stuff, you know, like, so that's why I didn't like him, you know, but he was always been a talented musician. And I think his new persona looks pretty cool. Like it's believable, you know. So I think watch his documentary. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
I think the idea that we aren't letting people grow and change is what's really making it so like someone makes one mistake. And I mean, obviously there are mistakes that are, you know, that are just far over the line and we are unforgivable. But there are some things that are just like, you know, let's slow down on the cancel train here, guys. Like, oh, who is that? He's like a gamer on Jacksepticeye posted like a photo with his PS5 and he was like, imagine not having a PS5, LOL, like, you know, like it just like as a joke. And everybody was like, oh, cancel Jacksepticeye. He's shaming people for being poor. And I was like, what? Like, how are we getting to this point? Everything is like a cancelable offense. But yeah, like the stuff that Justin Bieber did when he was a kid was horrible. He was egging people's houses and standing on the freeway. But like, everybody did dumb stuff when they were a teenager. And if you had that much money,
I mean, he obviously, everyone was looking at him doing dumb stuff, and I didn't agree with that stuff, you know. But his new documentary, I was impressed.
Humanized him, right? Yeah.
No, I thought it was cool. His new song that's out called "Lonely," epic song.
That Benny Blanco collab is really good.
Epic song. Yeah. I think
great
it was an amazing song.
piano ballad.
It's great.
But I think about it when I was 17.
Yeah.
Or when I guess he became even when he was younger than that. So like when I was like in high school, like everything that I was doing was broadcasted to the world. Oh my God. Like, of course I would go insane. I would have done dumber stuff than I did. I didn't do anything particularly dumb in high school. I've always been a very like straight and narrow goody two shoes guy. But like, you know, we've all done our fair share of dumb stuff. And if that dumb stuff was broadcast to the world, I can definitely understand.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the way it is. And I think, what it comes down to is, like you said, there's some things that are forgivable, you know, and there's some things that aren't. You know, and we all know, we've talked about this before. There's some things that people do in this community that I won't forgive them for because they're douches. But there are things that, you know, are forgivable for me because it's just someone making a stupid mistake. You know, I make stupid mistakes.
Wouldn't be human if we didn't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, but I think there's a big difference between making a stupid mistake and being a shitty person, right? And I think that's the difference.
I genuinely believe that it takes conscious effort to be a bad person and to just be a garbage human being. You know, like when we say stupid mistakes, we mean things that we think are innocent but end up not having consequences. Yeah. But like just doing a bad thing, like you have to like. There's just no way that anybody can tell me that doesn't take effort. Like you have to
take a lot of effort.
It's so hard to be a bad person. Like it's just it's so. And maybe like again, I don't know everybody's situation. Maybe it's easier for some people to be bad, but like for me, I find it so difficult to do anything that I feel like would just affect anybody in a negative way. Like you have to live with it. The decision that you made to do this thing. And like, I don't know. I feel like, are these people not thinking about the consequences?
I mean, some of them just aren't well, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're not aware of it. You know, they might suffer from certain things, you know, whether it's mental health or whatever, not getting into that again. But like, I think it goes beyond that, right? I think there's people in our community that we can see it, you know, it's pretty obvious. And that's why they're acting the way they do. You know, it's not excusable, but it's understandable. You know, and I think that's where we just have to have compassion for certain people, you know, and just hope that they get help. And, you know, just, the whole cancel thing is just in right now. It's really cool to cancel people, you know.
I don't know. I was talking about it. I was just thinking about some of the things that I did in high school, like, amplified on a public scale, probably would have been canceled for it. Everybody at my high school would have been canceled if they were famous. I went to a 95% high school, 95% white high school. Me and 10 other minorities, give or take, in my grade, probably. I would bet that 75% of the white people that I went to school with were on and off saying the N-word publicly, because we went to and nobody would say anything about it.
Right.
And like, you know, it's so horrifying.
I was the opposite. I was probably 5% minority in my school. I grew up
really?
in Brockton. I grew up in Brockton, man. It's like,
okay.
And yeah, totally different story in my head.
Yeah, no, it's just like such a, I just grew up in such a, like a sheltered environment in terms of like race and diversity. And then when I went to college, my college was made up of 60% people considered minorities. The minorities were the majority at that school. And I had never been exposed to so many, you know, cultures and people of different races and things like that, that I was like, oh my gosh, I like finally feel like I kind of like fit in here.
Yeah.
Because there are people like me who have had this experience of being the minority and feeling, and now we're all kind of finally gelling and feeling like we fit in somewhere. The thing that I like to say is, I have experienced a lot of racism and discrimination in my life, but none of it has ever been accurate. Nobody has ever been racist to me because I'm Filipino. They're racist to me because they think I'm Hispanic or like Puerto Rican. No one, or like Japanese or Chinese. No, not a single person has ever correctly guessed what that half Asian part of me is. So like they'll just say things that don't make sense for my race.
Well, people don't know the difference between Japanese, Filipino.
Yeah, there's no way.
It's just be hard pressed to get people to actually point to the Philippines on a map. Like,
they're not even kidding. Yo, I will never forget. When I was in college, and it was just like basically an intro class. It was a gen ed class, and you know you get to do icebreakers in every gen ed class that you have. Yeah, and they were like, name like an interesting fact about yourself, and I was like, and I'm half Filipino, and somebody's like, have you ever been to the Philippines? And I was like, no, I haven't. They're like, oh, you should. South America is beautiful. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, who are you? You've been to South America and you still don't know? Like, how did you make it here in life? And I didn't say anything. I was just like, I'll have to go sometime. Like, cause I didn't know what, I was so caught off guard. It was just like, like I didn't know what to do.
Man, most people don't even know where anything is in the States.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that could label all the states on a map. I don't think I could do it, honestly. I stared at it so much in November that I think I could do it now. Yeah. But like,
I think I could get close. I could get close,
sure.
But like, there's probably like 4 or 5 states that I think everyone would get like held up on, especially like in the Midwest, where you're just like, all right, what's in this area now?
Which square is this? Because they all look the same. Like the 4 corners. Like want to put it's in rotation.
Everyone will get New Mexico, but then you're screwed around that area too. Like, I don't know. Is this Montana, Wyoming? I don't know.
Yeah, which one of them looks like a pan? You know, that's Oklahoma.
There you go. Yeah, right. Which is right above Texas, though. That's all I know.
There it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
Gosh. It's interesting to see. It will, and that's horrifying.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Like, in 2016. This dude rolled up to me in his Ford F-150.
Nice.
Or as I like to call it, the Compensator 9000. And and he had a Confederate flag on the back of his car. And I was just walking, like literally down the sidewalk. And he's just flying this flag. And he rolls down his, he's got the red hat on that we won't talk about. And he goes, hey, why don't you go back to your country? And I was like, I was actually born 2 miles that way. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. He goes, then why? I can't. He goes, why do you look like that? And I was like, because I'm mixed. And he goes, well, why don't you tell you're Mexican? Whatever. And I was like, I'm not Mexican. He was just so defeated because when you he was so angry that he was wrong, but he was also angry because he was racist. So it was just like a dangerous combo of like. Dude. I was like, I gotta get out of here. If I keep correcting him for too much longer, there's gonna be a gun in the situation. I can already feel it. Like But God, yeah, I don't know.
People are crazy, man. They're crazy. You know what you should have done? You should have did this. You should be like, pick a card. Dude, you should just carry cards around.
7 of diamonds. You go back to where you came from. Classic fort, baby. Let's go. Always ready.
Oh my god. Then he'd think you're a Mexican and a witch, so you'd have a problem.
Yeah, he'll try to
I
burn you.
was downtown. This boy was out here. He was doing some witchcraft or some devil's work.
I'm at Harry
Some
Potter.
voodoo. It's
I didn't
voodoo.
even get to this part. He was brown. I didn't even.
Jamie Bacon says he demands an apology for the truck because he has an F-150.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No flag
it's
there,
not.
no
It's
flag
not.
there.
It's not everybody that owns a truck. One of my best friends in the world owns a truck. It's if you fly
Hold
the
on,
Confederate.
hold on. We don't call him Bacon Bits for no reason.
Oh my god.
Right, Jamie? We got you.
It's just anybody that flies the Confederate flag.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. You know what? I have to say though too, not even to like derail this conversation. We're an hour and 35 minutes in, and we have not yet done a sniff for stew.
Oh,
Which
jeez, we got to
means that-
do it.
We should do that. Which I don't even know if we told David about this.
I don't think it was mentioned.
We slipped up hard on our pre-show. We got so sidetracked actually having fun conversation. So we have a tradition on the show. We had a guest back in episode 10, so far back.
Dang.
He's a member of the community. His name is Stu. His IG tag is courier_Stu.
Oh
Stu,
yeah,
Is he in there?
I know.
Is he in it?
Yeah. Caitlin and Stu are very good friends. So Stu's big thing has always been sniffing decks. And, we loved having Stu on so much. He started sniffing decks and actually did a deck sniffing contest on the show. And ever since then, we've actually had every single guest open a new deck of cards on air and do a sniff for Stu, as we like to call it. And for anyone who's enjoyed the sniff for Stews, you're going to have to make sure to check out the 24-hour episode because our own Small Hand Things Caitlin is going to be putting together an amazing montage movie video thing of all of the sniffs put together. So we're really excited for that. But that means, David, you're going to also be featured on the 24-hour episode, even though you won't be able to be there.
No, I won't be there.
You'll
All right,
be
well,
there
I
in
did-
spirit and sniff.
I did tell you that I got these Secret Service decks from Riffle Shuffle.
There
Nice.
you go.
Since those came in the mail today, I will
Sweet.
pop this one open.
Is it a
Nice.
secret?
Fresh.
Are you supposed to talk about them?
And I just have to give it a sniff.
You just have to give it a
Yeah.
sniff, however you want to do it.
Can
I'm
you
gonna
tell
go.
us who
I'm
did
gonna
the
go
crime?
full deck,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go individual card because I think there's a different.
All right.
Okay. Let's. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, nothing like thin crushed stock. B finish. Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, let's go individual card here. All right.
Hopefully
Which card
all
are you
of
gonna
this
pull out?
deep breathing
It's
doesn't.
the Ace of Hearts.
All right,
Ace
nice.
of Hearts.
Hopefully all the deep
Nice.
breathing doesn't trigger a nosebleed.
Is
Yeah,
that-
I was. You know what? I pushed my finger up against my nose, and I was like, "That was a bad idea."
It's just you come up and the whole deck's like covered in blood. You're like, so.
Dude, don't press on your nose. Just do this.
Oh yeah, good idea. Hold on. I gotta get the headphones out of the way. We want this to be a clean sniff. Here we go.
This is where figuring out how to roll it up to get up your nose for the COVID trick would be delightful.
No, I was just gonna say that's what you got to do.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had someone ask me for a magic trick earlier, so we'll
There you
call
go,
it
there it
it's a double right there.
Double whammy. A sniff for Stu and a magic trick for whoever
Oh,
asks
my
for
God.
it.
Yeah,
Is there fanning powder?
I love you, Val. So good. So good.
Val
Oh,
is down one of the funniest people in the community.
Val,
Like I look forward to
Yeah.
Val's like comedic TikToks and posts
Oh
just
my
as
God.
much as I do his actual magic stuff.
we've brought
'Cause
this
I
one
just-
up several times, and every time Val comes up, I feel like I have to bring it up because this thing should win like a TikTok Emmy if that was a thing. But the one where he shuffles with his butt is the best TikTok
That
I've
is so good.
ever seen, and I literally must have watched it for like an hour. I love that video. If I could like, oh my god, like if screensavers on a computer were still a thing, it would be that video. Oh my god, that was
Wait.
literally.
Pants.
Oh my god, it's so good. Like, and that's the best part. Like, it's his hands, but you're still like uncomfortable slightly because you're like,
Yeah, 'cause you're like, well, that's not where his hands aren't supposed to be
Actually-
there.
Actually, we are going to have him on the 24-hour show. Maybe he can do a butt shuffle for us.
Yes.
I feel like there might be a lot of prep involved in a butt shuffle,
It would
but
have to be like a pre-recorded segment. You know what I'm saying? Like he would
I mean,
have to he would have to be like, all right, we're gonna do it, and then he would like jump up and like he would match cut on the camera, and then he would.
That's fine.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
Bao, you wanna handle that for a 24-hour show?
But
Also,
He's our first guest at 10 a.m. too. That'd be pretty funny. As
the 10 a.m.
Start the show with a butt shuffle.
Wake
Oh,
up in the morning. Nothing to wake you
Oh,
up in the morning like a good butt shuffle. That sounds sexual. I
So-
apologize for that.
And I gotta say too, Val, like towards the fanning powder comment, there is definitely an untapped market there where you could use powdered milk for some of your TikTok videos, but I don't know how your sponsors would appreciate it. So take that for what it's worth.
You gotta make drinking milk cool and trendy. We don't drink milk anymore. We snort it. We get it.
Oh my god.
He'll prep it, he said.
That's definitely only the
Perfect.
dairy farmers of America who are endorsing that video.
Yeah, I was gonna say dairy farmers of Canada are not.
They're too wholesome for the milk
Yeah,
sniff.
the dairy farmers of Oregon are like, hey, look, you know what? Go for it.
We're only another referendum away. Oh my
Prep the
gosh.
butt shuffle. I love the direction we go on this show.
Yeah,
We-
this
we-
is. We talked about a whole manner of things, haven't
You
we?
know what the crazy thing is? I can't wait for someone who's going to come on the show expecting to have like an actual typical
Like
interview. and then they come
professional,
on-
like they're like, yeah, and then just. So have you ever snorted powdered milk? You done that before? Have you? Okay, if you have.
I almost feel bad for anyone who stumbles across this and like they're in a situation where like they're in their car and they come across this on Spotify and it just starts auto playing, but they're like driving so they can't change it and they're stuck listening to it for like an hour being like, what is this?
Well, the first part of it.
What kind of
they're probably just
driver are
like-
you that you can't change something?
I mean, you should be a responsible driver and not play with your cell phone while
Whatever.
driving.
I'm from
I like to
Massachusetts.
think.
I do what the hell I want.
I just like to think that somebody comes across it and it starts playing and they're confused by it, but like in a good way. They're like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna keep letting it play.
So
And
I
it just
don't
goes just a bunch of this. They're like, I don't really know, but I think I like it.
Yeah. I feel like see, and here's the vibe we're always going for, and hopefully everyone in the chat let us know if you get this vibe. But the vibe we always go for is you're in the room with us having this conversation. So I hope you all feel like you're a part of it, as confusing as that may be. And for any listeners who are going to be listening to this after the fact or are going to be listening to audio only, first off, you should definitely check out the video because we're going to have another jib jab. And the two jib jabs are the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. But
We have
that
another
being-
one?
Yeah, Caitlin created another.
And you watched it already?
I didn't watch it yet. First off, I know it's going to be amazing. I know it's going to be amazing.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I didn't know. I'm like,
I'm afraid
I
what the
watched it
faces
already.
are going to be. I'm assuming that if they're the same faces, it's going to be great. If they're different faces, I'm scared. So, but the other aspect about it, I forgot where I was going with that. I got myself off on a tangent. But
For all the people who are listening.
yeah, so all the people who are listening, we appreciate you too. We hope you enjoy it as much as the people who watch this live. But let us know also if you feel like you're part of the conversation. That's the vibe we go for. The funny thing about it, though, speaking the audio side of it, when Alexa first started doing podcasts, and for anyone listening to this, I'll put a disclaimer down there. I just said it, so don't let it kick off your whatever. But something, if you say it out loud and someone's listening to this in the volume, it could pick up and turn on their Echo device. So that being said, though, when they first started doing podcasts on the Amazon device, we had like a huge spike in people listening to this on like their Echo at home, to the point that it almost like doubled our listeners. And I'm sitting there, dude, and I'm like, either someone is having the worst experience of their life right now, or they're just super happy.
They're trying to find a completely different podcast.
It just kept coming up.
They're like, hey, and then the voices, they're like, play Duckin' Around. Like they're just like really into ducks. I don't even know. And they're like, now playing Deckin Around podcast episode. And they're like, no. every morning they just have just an absolute tirade.
Oh my gosh.
That's like me with anybody, because Siri doesn't understand me because I don't, I guess, speak
English.
normal, right?
English.
I thought, you know what, Tyler, we already went over
we
this.
had this discussion. Yeah, Steve speaks more proper English technically, but he doesn't speak American English. He speaks more closely to British English than most Americans do. But
Which is the right way.
yeah. So it's actually, if I can find the video, I'll link it below. There's actually a great skit from Scottish comedians, because I guess people from Scotland have very hard times with voice recognition, where their accent is so confusing it won't pick it up at all. And it's these two comedians who get into a voice-only elevator, and they're trying to tell it where to go, and they literally just have the worst day of their life. It's absolutely hilarious. If I find the video, I'll drop it below for sure. But I don't know how we got off on this either, so I apologize.
Tangents are the sign of good conversation.
Without a doubt.
This is true.
Yeah, if a conversation is just too straightforward and direct, it feels like a presentation or like an interview. This is just, we're just chilling. We're just hanging out.
Yeah, no, this is
just having a good time, man, with all our friends. That's how we work. Dude, so obviously a lot of the people in the chat are card collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I haven't asked this question in a long time, actually. So, would you call yourself a card collector, or is it just something that you kind of have a bunch because of Magic, and if you are a card collector, what's your 3 favorite decks?
So I'm definitely, I would not consider myself a card collector. And the reason that I say that is because I feel like card collectors really go out of their way, just like collecting anything, stamps or, coins or things like that, to have sets of things and collections of things and the rarest of things. And for me, it's just, I've never been in that sector of the Magic community. Right. Because me, it's like, yes, there are decks that feel better, decks that feel worse than others. But at the same time, they're all just like tools. I just, with me, it's just like tools. In terms of like favorite decks of all time, number 1 is Tally-Ho Circlebacks. It's just my consistent worker. I carried a Tally-Ho with me for all 4 years of high school.
Nice. And
the same Tally-Ho red Circleback, and it was 2011, and it just like fanned perfectly all the way up until the end. I say that like it was like it died. All the way up. It was a loyal deck all the way up until the end. Even
there's this Jewish grandmother again. You keep like, I'm telling you, dude, you got some Jew in you.
It's like a character. I don't know. I just do it. Number 1, it's Tally-Ho Circlebacks. That's like, oh man, I have such a hard time with this because I despite not being a collector, I do own a considerable amount of more than any normal person would ever need to own. And Tally-Hos have always just been like, it's just like, I know that's the number 1 spot, and I've never ever like tried to think further down. The deck with Caitlyn's face on it, that's number 2. No,
we still haven't gotten that, Caitlyn.
Yeah, Caitlyn, what's up with that? I don't have one either. The heck is that about? Get that on Kickstarter. Get that on Kickstarter ASAP. I can tell you, like, I think like favorite decks for me kind of are just things that like I currently I'm like really like enjoying. Yeah. So like currently I really like let's see, where are they? I have them over here. The 597s by Joker and the Thief. Nice. They just have like this very rustic kind of souvenir deck feel that I totally vibe with. And then
the race car feel.
Yeah, it just kind of like, I don't know. It just feels like if I went to my grandfather's house and I opened up a drawer, like those cards would just be sitting in there. I'd be like, all right, yeah, like I dig this. And then these are pretty cool as well. These are the Fall Reflections by a guy named Bear. And he's from North Carolina. And that's how I met him, because we were both in North Carolina. And
I've never even seen that deck.
It's going to be on Kickstarter soon. So free using the promo. But all the cards were hand painted on massive canvases and then sized down, so the back design is hand painted by an artist.
Oh, I've seen that.
Deck. That's so dope.
I just think that the idea of being able to do like I'm trying to figure out the way to do it, but like painting versus graphic design are very different art forms, and I just think that the idea of being able to to hand paint a card and then put it on a back design is just very cool to me. Not doing like computerized stuff, which is obviously also very good, given that almost every deck that I have sitting in front of me was designed on a computer. But it's just like, I just think that concept is really cool. But yeah,
that's because it's like, we kind of talk about it all the time, and I always say this is like a lot of magicians don't give a shit about cards. Right? And I say that in the aspect of like, obviously there's some magicians that care. There's some, but what it comes down to is they want to use their cards, it's their tools, and they're not there like, and obviously there are some magicians that do this, that, but what it comes down to is it's like, can I use this for my job, or can I use this for Magic? What I do, and if not, then I'm not going to use it. I'm probably not going to buy it. I'm not going to use it unless I can, actually utilize it in my routine. And I think that's how magicians are, right? They're just like, I use my decks, and then you have your cardistry people which use it, but they don't use really magicians decks for the most part.
Yeah. No, there's like very little crossover in that Venn diagram between decks that I think like cardists enjoy and decks that I think magicians enjoy. And I think that the Tally-Ho circlebacks honestly fit right in the center of that diagram, just because that was like the deck that is it XCM? Yeah, XCM and like cardistry like really came up on, just because of the circular design and because they're better than standard bikes, because standard bikes are like sandpaper in my hands now, it feels like, honestly. When I open up a deck of them, I'm just like, do I need to like Richard Turner the sides of these decks every time I open them? But there's just that Venn diagram has a very, very small center cross section. It's just because, cardists are looking for something very different. It's all about the visual rather than like, am I going to be okay folding up this card and, doing like a Mercury card fold with it and all this other like, technical mumbo jumbo, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Cool. That's a good top choices for sure.
Yeah. That's my current list. What about you though? Do you have do you keep a ranked list, Steve, of things that you are like your top 3 staples?
Yeah, I think I have different because I'm a collector as well. So it's basically collecting and Magic, I guess you could say. On the Magic side, for me, Monarchs.
Oh yeah,
is definitely in my top 3, and another one is Nox. I love Nox. And I would have to say, specifically the White Knockout, I think is just super classy.
Yeah, very classy. Agreed.
And for the last one, Magic wise, I'd have to say anything that's like just sleek, that's just clean, sleek. That third spot can kind of rotate.
It's just kind of rotates in and out.
Yeah, it depends. New decks come in that I really dig, that kind of go through that wheel, I guess. But for the most part, Monarchs are always going to be up there. I just think they're super classy. They're cheap. You can get them super cheap, and everybody kind of knows what they are as well.
I've been Monarchs were the first custom deck I ever bought when I first started Magic, and absolutely, that's like a staple of like if I was currently doing like a corporate gig type thing, it's Monarchs all the way. Like that, they exude like this kind of simple but at the same time like kind of classy, luxurious.
Even the top, I mean, they're elegant.
Oh, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
No, if you walk into any event and pull out that tuck, people are gonna be like, "Oh, those are nice."
He's like a magician, but like he's about it.
Yeah.
He's not busking magician. He's like
right. Yeah.
He's like, let me tell you about
those weird things.
All right, yeah.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
Yeah, and then just collecting wise, it's definitely your low trek stuff, which is oath playing cards. I have my collection side is pretty small for the most part. I collect Nox as well, but definitely low trek. I have one of my favorite decks is by Stockholm 17.
The
House of Rising Spade is probably one of
some brilliant design work there.
Yeah. So and then my third one is definitely like a cool deck that I like, kind of that just comes in and out.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same way. I'll leave that third spot for just like random.
Yeah, it's there's nothing that's like really gonna like skyrocket into the top 3 and stick there. It's just kind of something that's whatever at the time is feeling right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler, what's your favorite deck to take pictures with your iPhone?
First off, I don't even have an iPhone, so that's even.
Oh
best.
no! Oh, that's well, sorry.
He's
I'm
kinda
all
weird.
about that
He's kinda
Android.
weird.
Yeah, I
He's
got
kinda
that,
weird.
that Samsung Galaxy life here. So
Okay.
I don't know. You know what? It's funny. I think I lean more towards cardistry decks because I really appreciate visuals. I really love decks with great fanning elements. One of the decks that jumps out to me all the time, and honestly, it's one of my favorites to just play with and look at, even though it chips like crazy and it's a shame, is the Summer Fan 2019 Tally Hos.
Tally ho.
Yeah, that like blue and green and yellow Tally Ho is great,
Yeah.
except whatever they have on it for the UV spot ink on the cards chips off, which is a huge pain. So you always come away with like, white spots on your hands. Yeah, and honestly, like I find that you're playing with the shuckers there. I love the decks that Cam's put out, and
Elements, yeah.
dude, yeah, for the fanning elements, I think Cam does a great job with the back design. So I think my favorite thing about the OPC decks, hands down, though, is the little like changes, the modifications to the courts. Like that's my favorite part about it. I always open the deck and immediately just shoot to the courts because I want to see what the king of diamonds has in his hand and whatnot. Like that's always my favorite part about the OPC decks. And I think the OPC decks to me definitely always, they're the rotating spot for me only because I find that the latest one always seems to jump to the top for me.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, it's always innovative. It's always fun. There's always a little bit of whimsy to it. Yeah. And then I don't know, like it's tough for me because like from the visual point of view, there's so many good looking decks out there. That's a good looking deck. Yeah. Andre's butterfly deck is phenomenal. Yeah.
This is my third favorite right now.
Yeah.
I just feel rich. I just feel rich when I hold this deck.
You just look like you should be sitting in an armchair next to a fireplace holding that.
You play cards with the Monopoly Man. That's what that deck says. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I don't know. Like I always like the story behind the deck. So for me, it's always something that changes. Good visuals and a story to me are more important, I think, than handling. Just because like I don't play with the cards that much. Like I'll spring them, I'll have fun with them, but like I'm not out here doing Magic all day. For some reason, my fingers are not dexterous at all. So like I'm not doing cardistry, that's for sure. And I'm sure over time I can build that up. Oh yeah, and the upcoming Visions deck from Steve over here. So Steve acts like he's not on the show every week and can't plug his own stuff.
That's weird.
Oh my God.
Why do you think I'm on here? It's because Cam can't be on here all the time, so I have to come in and plug sometimes.
I have to say,
exactly.
Cam has been on Deckin Around more than anyone we've had, and we love every time with it. Like he is such a good dude. So, and I guess that's
so corny.
You know what? Part of your looping back a little bit to the idea of community involvement. How did you end up getting together with Cam?
Actually, so this is Cam and I we were on a call last night. And we were talking about this specific thing. So I have known Nate since before OPC.
Okay.
Just through community stuff. And then when he brought Cam on, that's when I kind of met Cam.
Okay.
So through the OPC stuff. And then obviously Nate has since gone on to do other things, and Cam is sticking with the OPC. And it was about a year ago, in August of 2019, that Cam called me up, and he was like, we were looking for like a Magic content creator, because we're like, we do a lot of cardistry stuff. Nate does a lot of cardistry stuff on the channel, tutorials, but we want to kind of expand and do Magic stuff as well. Kind of really hit every
cool stuff. Some cool stuff.
Yes, not some cardistry, but so they were like, we were trying to, and I was like, look, I'm really in university right now, and I'm like really focusing on that. And I also just taken this job with Nobody Knows earlier this year, so I'm busy doing stuff with them. But when I graduate, Cam, you can call me, and we'll talk. And then I was like, maybe, even because it's only my junior year of college, like, maybe later I'll have more time or something like that. He's like, okay. So then he called me in December, and then that was when I decided that I was going to finish college that year.
Yeah.
And he was like, do you think you could do it next semester? And I was like, no, I just decided I'm going to finish college this year, so I don't think I'm going to have the time. And basically we just kept going through this cycle until I finally graduated. And he was like, now? And I was like, okay, yes, Cam, I will now.
Nice.
he told me, he said last night when I was on the call with him, he said, if you had said no, I would have driven to your house and literally sat outside, with the stereo until you came out and said that you would work with us.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got involved with Cam. It was basically just because I knew Nate when OPC was starting out, and then obviously I met Cam through him.
Nice.
I was on their OPC podcast one time, very briefly, and and we've become great pals ever since then. So yeah,
it's kind of hard not to become great pals with Cam.
I can't imagine anybody disliking Cam.
Yeah, if you don't like Cam, I don't trust you.
There are things. What were we talking about earlier? Where it was like, if you don't like Planet Earth, or if you don't like Cam,
oh my god, if you don't, and that's the thing though, you can dislike OPC as a brand, you can dislike playing cards, but if you've ever met Cam and had even a 30-second conversation with him, I don't know how you couldn't like the guy.
Just like a magnetic personality. He's so nice.
The second you hear him laugh, it's game over.
Yeah, no, you can't. You cannot. It's infectious.
And he makes decks with fruit on them.
Yeah, dude.
It's just fun,
Yeah.
Who doesn't like fruit?
Yeah, but again, though,
I know a couple people.
Yeah, some people just don't seem to. Some people just don't. Yeah, but at the same time, though, show them the last trailer for the Shuckers where Cam gets dressed up in grandpa makeup. Yeah, I'm like, come on. This is the nicest person in the world. No question about it.
Back in the town of Shucksville, I was crying when it came up.
It was so good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was really good.
I appreciate that particular aspect of the Shuckers trailer, like the idea of making it a story.
Yeah.
Because again, this is just I think this is really the theme of this episode, despite all of our constant tangents, is that storytelling is, at the end of the day, what is important, not just in magic.
Whether it's about your feelings or about something that you're interested in, or for sure.
Telling a story is what it comes down to. And I just feel like, with deck trailers and magic trick trailers, like I would rather gravitate towards something that's gonna, not just amaze me or be like, oh, that's a cool design, but it's also something that I can like kind of get a little bit invested in. And the whole idea of it being like, back when my grandpa lived in this town and there was like a harvest and all, like, to me that made it better. It gave me like, another reason to enjoy this deck.
Yeah.
I hope that more brands and people in the community kind of take note of that and start putting more of an emphasis on storytelling and not just, throwing out a deck trailer that's just like the same, I don't know, thing. Yeah. There's only so much you can do in terms of flourishing playing cards on camera and putting dope orchestral music behind it or whatever. And
But again, though, those trailers have their place and they're phenomenal. But I think Cam is really stepping it up with the trailers he's bringing, because there's emotion behind it. And don't get me wrong, like I love watching a cardistry trailer as much as the next person, with sharp cuts to different angles and all the flourishes and everything. It's very like energetic, but like energy does not equate to emotion.
Exactly. I can watch the Verts when they were putting out decks. And they're coming out with a new one next year or something.
The P1. Yeah. It was a pre-order. They already sold a lot of them too. I got an email about it the other day, and I was like,
shipping. It was like one of those situations.
Yeah.
But like there are videos like Airtime and Liquid Water.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Liquid Paper, not liquid water. Of course, liquid water. What am I talking about? Like I can watch those videos and be like, these, like, look at the camera work. Like this stuff is cool. But I'm not like, I'm pretty sure I cried the first time I watched the Shuckers trailer. I think I shed a little bit of a tear there. Like that's
with you.
Trailer about playing cards, and Cam's got me out here like he just wants to connect with his grandkids. Like it's a really sweet story. We're all trying to be a family out here, like an OPC family.
I love it.
No, that's true. I mean, I don't think most people in this community don't want to go that extra mile to tell that story. They just want to put out a deck. Some of them don't even want to post about it. They just want to put it out and expect people to buy it. But I think. There's very few people that tell stories with their decks, and for me, those people are the ones I like the most, that do the best work and in my opinion, and I would definitely love to see more of that. That'd be cool.
I've always said, people keep asking me, like, are you going to put out a deck? You're going to put out a deck. And I'm like, I've always said that if I'm going to put out a deck, it has to mean something to me. It can't just be like, oh, I want to do this because I want to do it. Like there has to be something attached to it. And like, I have put out a deck, and honestly, like looking back at it, design wise, I'm like, still like, I was 17 when I did it. I had no idea how to design anything. It was just like, I literally did it for a high school project. But at the time when I released it, for me, it represented a bigger step into doing like this magic thing a little bit more seriously, and realizing, there are opportunities out there if I go after them and if I want to do these things. And so, like, despite the fact that sometimes I look at that deck that I put out when I wasn't a kid, but like, when I was in high school.
You were a kid.
I really couldn't sign the contract with Murphy's.
Yeah, so you're old enough to do that. Yeah,
underneath it. So like, we'll just say
Wonder
playing cards.
Right? Oh, okay. I know. Okay.
Yeah. So like,
I know which one. I know which one it is.
Yeah, and so like, for me, it's always going to be representative of like that kind of realization. Like, okay, like maybe I do need to like put myself out there and like do these things and like take it all a little more seriously. So even if I don't, particularly like the work that I did on it now and the direction that I let it go, it's always still has something, there's something there. There's a story behind it for me.
Yeah.
So I think
if I ever do the growth factor, right?
Yeah. You're evolving. Yeah.
Like a milestone in my thing, because it genuinely, it started out as a high school project. It was a thing in my English class called Time, where our English teacher, she was wonderful. Her name was Miss Honaker. And she said that she understood, her whole thing was like, she understood that high school for a lot of us, it was like, it's just a stepping stone to getting to higher education or getting to where we want to go in life. It's something that we have to do, not something that we necessarily want to be there for. So she took 20% of all our class time. So 1 out of every 5 classes. And she was like, you're going to do whatever you want with this time, as long as you have something to show for it at the end of the year. It doesn't have to be English related. It doesn't have to be school related. It's just whatever you're passionate about. Take this time that I'm giving you and use it to explore that passion.
That's cool.
And do something with it. So for me, the passion was magic and performing. So I did like a street magic, like video kind of thing, detailing kind of my story in magic. And then I also designed a deck to go along with it. And that was just part of the project. It never had anything to do with it. But then I posted it on Instagram, and Murphy's reached out to me and they were like, we want to turn this into a real thing. Like, that's like,
cool.
in 17-year-old me, that's huge. So now looking back on it, it's like, again, maybe I don't like it, but that's a marker. I was here, and now I'm, we've gone on 4 years and we're in a completely different spot, but like, it's very representative of where I was at that time. So if I ever put out another deck, I want it to represent where I am now and the things that I'm doing. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm reading the chat now because I know that you guys are reading it, but I want to.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, so while you're reading the chat, I'll throw in some of the questions that we got from. It's actually ironic. I'd say 98% of the questions we got this week are from either Justin or Caitlin. So, so we'll run through some of them here. Let's see what we got here. What's the weirdest smell you've ever smelled?
Interesting.
Wow, that's like a thing that you have to like really think about too.
Well,
it's not
I
like
think you try and block out weird smells.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't want to remember it, like, especially if it makes you like sick or something. The weirdest smell, the dealer's hall at Magic Live. Nobody wears no deodorant at Magic conventions. It's disgusting.
Let's see what else we got here. When will you and Caitlin finish that song?
So Caitlin sent me this guitar thing a while back, and she was like, do you want to do something with this? And I was like, sure. So then I wrote like a chorus over it and I sung it. And first of all, I always have this thing where I sing something and I hate it.
All right.
I just the way that my voice sounds. I never really have ever like gotten over that thing where I'm like, oh, I hate it. But other people seem to like it. So it's like, fine, whatever. So then I sent it to her and she was like, this is so good. And I was like, I don't know. And I just have to like really be in a zone to songwrite. So Caitlin, we will finish that song soon. And I want to do it a little bit better than I did it when I recorded that demo for you. But we'll do it soon. I'll try and write something for it. Yeah.
Nice.
What a question.
Listen, those two so far have actually been the most normal out of the bunch.
The smell question is the most normal.
How
That's
many
a lot.
chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
How many chickens
Yes.
to kill an elephant?
Yeah.
Why would you want to kill an elephant?
Why would you want to kill an elephant? Second of all, my thought.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The only way that a group of chickens is going to kill an elephant is if it crushes the elephant under its weight. I'm going to say however many chickens are in an elephant. Can someone do that conversion on Google? Can we get that?
An elephant?
How much does an elephant weigh and how much does a chicken weigh? So then a chicken's worth of elephants plus one could kill an elephant.
Plus
There
one.
you go. What's the strangest thing in your fridge?
Strangest thing in my fridge is I'm trying to think of something.
No, I'm just kidding.
Not have just a deck of cards. No, I don't have cards in my fridge.
They're in the freezer.
It's a good place to put them if they buckle.
In the freezer. What's the strangest thing I have in my fridge? I'm trying to think of something that I would have in my fridge that like other people wouldn't normally have in their fridge. The strangest thing that I have in my fridge is this homemade green pepper hot sauce. It was made by one of my mom's friends. It's very delicious. It goes great on Hispanic food and like tacos and that kind of Mexican Tex-Mex cuisine kind of thing.
Nice.
And the only reason I say that it's strange is because I guarantee you nobody else watching this could possibly have it because they don't know my mom's friend. We'll go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah.
What do you do to keep your hair as stylish as it is?
Condition, shampoo, and mousse.
All right.
And all made for curly hair. Yeah.
All right.
Moose, huh?
Did you,
Jamie? Stu asked, do you get mistaken for a cardist often, or just me?
If anybody mistakes me for a cardist, they've never seen me do cardistry. So there would be no mistaking me for a cardist if they had ever seen it.
That's
oh
funny.
man. There are a bunch of still questions here, but I feel like some of them are just, did you remember to tie your shoes today?
I was actually tying my shoes during this live stream. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I had my knee up here at one point. It's because I was tying my shoes.
Do you not know how to
tie your shoes a lot?
Do you not know how to like tie your shoes so they don't come undone?
Huh? I think the last time that I actually tied my shoes like properly was like a month ago. I just slip them on because it's an old pair of Adidas that I'm wearing right now.
Okay, so they're broken. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if I have like a nice pair of shoes or like a pair of shoes that I like, I'm trying to keep in good condition, I will untie them every time I take them off.
Okay.
But I've had for like a year and a half, and I literally wear them when I'm just trying to be comfy. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my God, I never tie my shoes. I literally slide my shoes on all the time.
I mean, I don't wear shoes anymore with this whole work from home stuff. So it's delightful. What else do we got here? I know you don't know cardistry, but what's your favorite move that you don't know?
My favorite move that I don't know is I actually do have an answer for this.
Oh, nice.
I can't do judo flip, but it just looks so comfortable,
nice.
and I need to learn how to do it.
All
But
right.
yeah, I think
I'm with you on that one.
And
I'm
then
with you on that one. I want to chime in on that one. Mine's
for it.
Lego love.
you've been
you know what?
practicing
All
for
right,
a
I've been
while.
practicing Lego Love, and I still can't do it, and I'm going to prove that I
haven't
can't
been
do it.
practicing it for a while, but I practiced it like way back, and
I can't get this all the way around. It just stops here, and I can't figure out how to get it. But
see,
yeah,
I can get it there, but it just doesn't flow like.
it doesn't look as nice, does it? When other like cardists do it, and it just looks way better.
Yeah, because they get that.
It just does it by itself. It almost feels like they're not even. Anyway, yeah, Lego Love is great as well. But I think for me, judo flip is just like it looks like I can do it.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
Cool. Judo flip.
So on that note, what we'll do is we'll give the chat a few minutes to kind of
think of something.
Justin Caruso says use the flick of the wrist. what we'll do, we'll give the chat a few minutes to think of any last minute questions they have. While they're thinking on it, we're gonna play the latest
The
jib
new
jab.
jib jab.
No, if it's, you know what, the worst part was when you said there was a second one, I was like, oh, okay, fine. Like, it's just going to be, but then you brought up the fact that it could be different pictures.
And I don't know. I don't know.
Really self-conscious about thinking about like what faces I've been making during this live stream between the time that we've seen the jib jabs. And then I'll tell a story about my self-consciousness after this, but yeah.
When I realized it could be different faces, I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm gonna make whatever faces I make at this point.
Yeah,
it's immortalized in jib jab. So let's check it out.
All right.
Dude, that dance, man. Dude, that dance you did, Dave, was dope.
I don't even know. I was watching myself dance and I was like, I wish that I could look like that and not like I'm just like, you know, like I look like those things that they are outside of like car dealerships.
Oh,
when I dance. But anyway, here's a story about me being self-conscious because it happens a lot. And I knew I was gonna have to get this COVID test. And I was like in the bathroom, like the day in the morning of going to get the test. And I was just looking in the mirror and I was like, and then I went, oh no. And then I trimmed my nose hair. So I was like, I don't want the nurse to think I'm uncleanly, you know? I was like,
you gotta do that stuff.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh man, it's so funny. I went way too hard on that dance.
Dude. I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, who responds to an ad listing that's basically like dancers for hire for jib jab? Like,
oh my God. I want to know who. That's gotta be a fun job right there.
Oh no, I'm sure it's like, yo, I need you to dance like an elf for the next 4 hours, and then no one's gonna know it's you because we're gonna paste other people's faces on it. It's gonna be hilarious. And they'll be like, let's do this.
Mocap suit on. That, I mean, that's pretty cool. That'd be a fun job. If I could dance, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If the three of us were dancing for real, I don't think jib jab would be as big as it was. So
yeah, I think if the three of us dancing for real, that this podcast might get like taken off the internet for just
probably
like content. Like there was
a little FYI. I used to actually be in a dance group.
No, like hip hop or like what, break dance? What kind of dance group?
Like yeah, kind of like breaky hip hop. Way back, like when I was in high school.
Like, that's tight.
Like way back, yeah. So I used to know how to dance.
And then
back
when
you
forgot,
was cool. I mean, I haven't danced in ages.
He might pull his back now if he tries to dance like that.
I might pull a fat instead of a muscle, you know.
Oh my God. So what do we have come in here? Caitlin wanted to know, and this is one of our two Caitlin questions we usually get. So Caitlin's question is, if you can describe Steve and Tyler with only one word each, what would you use?
Ooh, one word each for a different version. Oh, okay. All right. Steve, the word that I would use for Steve, and this is based off of primarily the pre-call that we had, is thoughtful. Just because we had a really great discussion about mental health and the work that you've done as a photographer, going around the country to colleges and doing this. What was that called again? The series of photographs. I'm blanking on it.
What I Be project.
Yeah, the What I Be project. So like after that conversation, I have to say that would be the word that I would use to describe Steve.
Thank you.
And Tyler, I think I would say jovial. I think that's what, and maybe it's just the beard that's giving me the vibes that you just kind of, you know, like we could hang out and we could just have like a drink. I don't drink, but like we could have a drink, you know?
Yeah.
This is how I feel about. I don't know how to describe it in one word. I don't drink, but I would have a drink with Tyler. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of vibe.
I'm honored. Damn.
So he's good at peer pressure. No.
I mean, I am, but that's unrelated.
Snort the card.
Sniff
Sniff it.
Drink. Oh my god,
That's hilarious.
I have to say that
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that as well. I feel like a lot of times the words are usually like beard or
one word to describe Tyler. Beard.
We've gotten beard a couple times. It's an easy go-to. But no, I think I appreciate the thought that went into that. That was awesome, man.
I try to be a thoughtful person. Like
let's give a word to him. Let's give him a word.
God, I'm scared. Steve,
go first, guy.
Jewish.
Oh, what the? Steve basically brings up this idea and then throws me under the bus. He's like, "You go first." I'm like, "All right."
I'll go first. I'll go first. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna say caring.
Oh, that's a good one. I appreciate that one.
I'm gonna say that just not from earlier, not from our earlier conversation or this one, but both of them. I think you're genuinely a caring person and you care about people. You know, not just yourself. And obviously we haven't communicated too much other than just beginning to get you on the show, and super caring for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Wholesome. I actually, and you know what? It was funny because Steve, after I gave you a hard time there, I immediately realized what my word was. But I think my word for you, and this is gonna sound more practical than like anything, but I think the word I would pick is grounded, and not so much in the sense of like. Yes, I think you're a very sensible person, and I think a lot of times when you say someone is grounded, you think that they're responsible and they have their stuff together. And while I'm sure that is very much true, I think the aspect of grounded that I really mean for you is that even when you don't have your stuff together, I have a feeling that you approach it from a very sensible point of view. Even if something has you down, you try and be positive about it, and you try and approach it from a, okay, this is my current situation. How do I get to where I want to be? And I really respect that, especially for someone as young as you are, to be that conscientious of your well-being and your kind of situation.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I feel like that's a good description. I have a book of things when I'm having like a tough time, and not even just when I'm having a tough time. I try to write in it pretty frequently, where if I'm feeling a certain way, I try to write about what it is that I'm feeling, and then kind of analyzes it and get to a deeper understanding of what it is specifically that's making me feel that way on a specific day.
Okay.
And then through that writing, try and come to a solution for it. So I feel like that's definitely a pretty accurate description, and I appreciate that.
Cool.
That I can exude that, and that other people see that, and that it's not just something that I feel. But Bao, thank you for the wholesome. I appreciate that as well.
And
as Bao's over there,
let's add this for everybody. Nobody has their shit together.
Yeah.
We're all screwed up. We're all crazy. We're all flawed. We're all, I can go on for days. But the cool thing about it is if you're aware of it and you're okay with it and you talk about it, and that's the key.
You just have to embrace it. It's one of those things that's like, you can't, sometimes there's just some things that you just can't fight, that you just have to be content with.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I think that's something that a lot of people probably need to hear. Just like it's okay. We're all going through something, and we're all in it together.
Absolutely.
Whether you like it or not.
No,
some high school musical stuff. I did the High School Musical. We're on this together.
And we got some singing out of them too.
And bye.
We got some singing out of them.
Great song.
This was all the long con. We just wanted you to sing. No.
I almost did the bye thing too. You almost had 2 songs out of me. Maybe if I'm feeling generous,
oh damn,
I'll do it.
I mean, you can sing if you want. We'd love to hear you sing.
Just like
I think my phone's ringing. I have to go.
The new iPhone 12 is ringing. No, I'm kidding. All right.
You don't have to. I was just saying, if you wanted to, you don't have to. That's on the spot. You didn't do your
to the NSYNC song, the Bye Bye Bye.
No. I don't know the words either. All I know is bye bye bye.
It's like and then I can't remember the words.
For you.
I don't want to be a fool for you. This is me singing. Might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye bye bye. Yeah, that. That's a great song. That's a classic.
Oh,
it is. It's classic, man.
Somehow we've come all the way back to like some really like old school poppy stuff here. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Caitlin putting my own song lyrics. First of all, Start a Fire doesn't seem like a very like that's just a random thing, but that's the first line of one of my songs. So now I was like, I thought she was telling me
Start
like
a fire.
literally commit arson now. And then I was like, oh yeah, I wrote that. That's fine.
I thought she was trying to get you to do We Didn't Start the Fire.
Oh.
Which please don't sing that. I know a lot of people like it, but
Start the fire.
that's
The world is turning. Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
That just dates me. That just tells you how old I am.
Dude, I had to learn that that song in 5th grade to sing. I don't know why. Like that was one of our assignments is we all had to, as a class, sing that song. I guess because there was a lot of like world events tied into the song, and so it was a good, fun way. I don't know. It was very strange.
The song that I had to sing at my school assembly was Yankee Doodle, but I mean, yeah, sure, we could go.
I hope you weren't singing Yankee Doodle in 5th grade. Come on.
I was. It was our school's assembly,
Jeez.
and I had the solo of Yankee Doodle, which I
What's the solo of Yankee Doodle?
I sang the whole song by myself. That was it. The whole thing is
a solo.
Yeah, no, it was like there were songs that everybody sang as a group, and there were songs that they had solo singers for, and I was one of the solo singers, and it was
Yankee
That
Doodle.
was like my first I think experience where I was like nervous about a public performance. Like when you're a kid, you don't care about this. You do dumb stuff in public all the time. You're a kid. I think 5th grade, I think I realized I was like, oh, this is like actually like I should be nervous about this because there are people looking at me. And I don't like when people look at me. I was hitting that age, where you're like nobody is allowed to ever.
I'm looking at you. Actually, I'm not. I'm looking at my camera.
I was gonna say you're looking at the camera. I'm safe here. I'm safe here alone in my bedroom. I'm fine. If there's somebody
I can see you. I can see
real
you.
life right now, I'm in trouble. I'm on the 2nd story of this house. There's a window there, but yeah. Good.
I wouldn't put it past Tyler to have cameras in your room right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's the beard. It's the beard.
It's the beard. He has everything on lockdown when it comes to like technology, man. I'm into technology, but he's got like everything on his little pad right in front of him.
You were talking about you were like, oh yeah, the Wi-Fi's down. Everything that's connected to the Wi-Fi is up. And he was like, you were like, I couldn't get the floodlights to turn on. I was like, your lights are connected to the internet.
Everything's connected to
my bedroom because I can literally I can basically I say good night to the little Echo, and it turns off all my lights, closes my blinds in my bedroom, turns on the lamp next to my bed, go upstairs, brush my teeth, pop in bed, turn the lights out, done.
It's like
he has control issues.
I just like the convenience. I'm a firm believer that seconds add up. And I get so much guff for this all the time, but 10 seconds a day over the course of your life is actually a lot of time.
Well,
and
in
so
a year, 365 times 10 seconds, a ton. I'm not going to. What is that? 6 minutes and 50 seconds?
Too much to even think about. My girlfriend, if I ever said, let's get Alexa or Google and it should be like, fuck that. I'm not getting anything that listens to me all day.
Tyler, how many minutes is 365 days? If you took 10 seconds every day.
Let's see.
3,000. Was it 300,000?
I was so far off.
It's an hour a year.
An hour a year, yeah. I said 6. What was wrong with my brain on that one? I said 6 minutes. I meant 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I moved the decimal the wrong way.
Well, and so if you really think about it though, too, that 10 seconds is simple shit. Think about how many times you're getting ready to leave the house and you're like, oh man, did I turn the lights off? I literally I'm like, Alexa, turn off all the lights. Done. I walk out the house. That saves me 10 seconds right there. Or you want to know, even simple stuff like where my packages are. There's a lot of convenience built into it, or setting timers because I'm terrible with timers when I'm cooking. there's a lot of convenience in having an automated home. There's also the alternative argument of just get up and turn off the light switch. But
yeah, I know.
I
mean,
have my lights on my phone. Like I have all these lights on my phone and stuff, but I still get up and turn them off. I don't use
the counter argument too to the idea that like, oh, you're not going to get a device in your home that's listening to you all the time. Your cell phone literally listens to you all the time.
No, of course it does. But you know the whole. I mean, obviously we know that, but she doesn't want another thing.
That's why Steve's girlfriend has a flip phone. You know, it's off the grid track phone.
That's right. A Motorola flip phone.
There you go. But yeah, like I mean, at least the home assistants that they like to call themselves, like at least they're upfront about the fact that they're listening to you. Like
you literally talk to it. I guess you're not really. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not like you're unaware that it's listening, because then how would it know you're talking to it? At the same time, your cell phone, you talk about, you know, I don't know. I just found out the other day that they make pink pineapples. We're talking about this now. My phone's going to hear that there's pink pineapples. Supposedly they taste like pink Starbursts. Sounds delicious, but I'm sure I'll see ads for it in the next couple of days on my phone because my phone is secretly listening to me, and that's just how it goes. Like
it's not secretly though. We know.
But we know. Like we all speculate that our phones are listening to ourselves, but no company's going to come out and say, yes, we're listening to you all the time, even though it's buried in the fine print and we've told you. Like it's a different kind of, I think, dynamic there.
I think if a company did say that, I would buy the phone and then just talk at it all day and just say like really weird stuff, just so that whatever they're collecting,
F you Verizon, F you Apple,
whatever they're collecting just becomes useless based on all the stuff around it, like the cloud of information that I'm giving it. I'm just like walking around talking to my phone all day, like stand-up idea number 3. Things that make you uncomfortable that you don't know why they make you uncomfortable. Number 1, when the on-flight movie is Sully. Number 2, when the Waffle House is attached to a tarot card reading place.
Oh my god!
You just like
I just farted.
I just start saying that it's all useless to them now. They're like,
yeah,
useful information in here. He hasn't even said his social security number yet. Like, what are we doing?
Can you turn off this phone? Turn off his connection.
Turn off his connection.
Just kill the mic. Dude, yeah, and like that's the thing about it. Like I'm willing to sacrifice some semblance of privacy for convenience, because I think in this day and age we've all sold our privacy, no matter what you think. Like there's no such thing as privacy anymore unless you're literally off the grid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't ever feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I've grown up with a certain level of technology in my always like being present in my life. I don't feel like I've ever had like the sense of privacy that maybe people felt even 30, 40 years ago. Yeah. I just always, you know, because cameras, like not like security cameras for your house or anything like that. We obviously didn't have that technology in my family when I was a kid or anything. But, you know, we have like home movies of like from the time I was born to the time I was, 10. Like there was always, somebody watching me, even though it was just my family. But those videos are out there. If you go to YouTube, there's videos of me that I will not tell you like how to find them, of me like playing basketball when I was a kid, playing baseball. There's videos of me at the beach and things like that. None of you are ever going to find it, by the way. So like,
I'll find it.
Steve, I'll find it. I don't have to sleep. I'll find it. But there's like videos all, so I guess I just never really had like an expectation of privacy. I've always assumed that my devices are listening to me. When I get ads for things that I talked about, I'm not weirded out. I'm more like, oh, nice, sweet. Now I can buy it. This is what I wanted.
Right. See, like I definitely grew up in a time when like there was that transition. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 17, and it didn't have a camera on it. But like I fully jumped into the idea of like, convenience has a price, and I'm willing to pay that price to an extent. Like I don't have cameras. Like, well, actually, I was gonna say I don't have security cameras in the house. I do, but they're not on. I don't actually use them. They literally, it points out the window, and I'm just like, all right, like cool.
It's just like an intimidation thing.
Yeah,
it's, like
it's more of like a deterrent than anything. And like anyone who's watching this, they're on all the time. Believe me, I'm just saying they're off. No, but like I don't like it. To me, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter for stuff like that. Like my deterrent, like they're a simple deterrent. But ultimately, like privacy, the more we get to rely on technology, the more privacy is going to be a thing of the past. there's not really a way around that because, again, unless you completely isolate yourself and you're off the grid, other people's technology, which is spying on them, is inadvertently going to spy on you. Like it's just kind of something that happens. So like it can either happen with your knowledge and understanding, or it's just going to happen and you're not going to realize it's happening because the person next to you who has their cell phone on the table at the restaurant, their phone's going to be listening to you instead of your phone listening to you. You know, it's one of those things that like if I can ultimately save, a minute a day, that adds up.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. People like sometimes I find it hard to talk to people about the idea of privacy because there are people that are out there like, I swear, like I can't believe that my phone is listening to me. I have to cover up my camera with tape. Like all this is happening. It's like, you posted a video of yourself underage drinking on your public Instagram story where your employer could see it, and you're going to tell me about your phone listening to you? Like, no. Like, if you're going to be like the person that's like, I want privacy, then I don't want to see any of your stuff. Like, I don't want any of your information out. You tagged your location. You did all this other stuff. You don't care about privacy. You just want to be on there are people that I think it's like trendy to think.
Yeah.
I doubt that anybody that covered their camera with tape did so because they actually read the stuff that Edward Snowden leaked from the NSA. Yeah. They just read it in line that said NSA is watching you through your computer camera. I don't know.
Yeah. People don't read anything.
You're just getting a lot of boring stuff of me sitting in front of my computer, shuffling cards and watching movies. So congratulations. Juicy content for you right there.
No,
my FBI.
And again, like that's the funny thing about it. Like it's just kind of like, all right, like it is what it is. Like in this day and age, you can't get away from it. I think ultimately, there's going to be more transparency about it. There's going to be more legislation around it. And companies are going to have to explicitly ask for your permission because they're going to do the same thing they've done for, decades now. They're going to bury it in 82 pages of terms of service. No one's going to read it. You're going to click accept. And then you're going to be appalled when it comes to the surface that they've been recording you the whole time. And they're going to be like, but we told you. And it's going to be this vicious cycle. But ultimately, like, again, I'm willing for that to happen in order for me to not have to go back and search through my house to find the lights I left on. So
I've been thinking a lot about your thing about how there's a price for privacy. The price of privacy is convenience.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't have any like Wi-Fi lights or anything like that. Like I just have this. This is the only thing that I have that I think is listening to me. And
I'm listening to you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. See what I said? Thoughtful, considerate. These are words that I'm trying to see. But my point is that like, for me, convenience is skipping through the terms of service. Like it's so much more convenient for me to just hit accept than to read all of it and be like, well, they might be selling my data to an offshore Chinese bank, but it doesn't. I would rather just hit accept and be able to use my phone. I did it today. I literally got this phone today. I did it today. I skipped I did not care.
So, and the funny thing about it too, there's also like 3 ways you can go about it. And some of them make you feel a little bit better, or some of them make the companies feel a little bit better in the sense of the terms of service pop up and the I accept button is immediately available. Or the terms of certain service pop up, it waits 5 seconds and then the button's clickable. Or you have to scroll all the way to the bottom. Yeah. And then you can click it. But guess what? I just scroll all the way to the bottom and I'm like, all right, see you later. Yeah. Like it really is what it comes down to.
The last one that I did for Apple, I think, was because I was downloading Streamlabs onto my iMac. Nice. And it was like, this is a software from the internet. Like, do you trust to open it? And it was like terms of service and all this other stuff. And I hit accept. And then it asked me again. It was like, are you sure? And I was like, look, no one is hitting accept and it being like, have you read the terms of service? And being like, you caught me, cancel. Let me go through and read this. We're all just hitting accept again because we're lazy. We don't care if you're listening to us anymore.
Well, and at that point too, it then becomes a whole thing of like this barrier to entry into the legal industry of understanding what's being said in a contract and whether or not this is going to get like really deep. I apologize for that. But like whether or not we're doing a disservice to people by using contracts that don't use everyday terms, and we use things like legalese that purposely make it hard to understand what the contract is saying, just so that people who do then try to read it don't understand it and give up after a paragraph. Yeah. So like there's this whole thing of like, have you read this contract? And it's funny because like the intention behind that is, have you read and do you understand what this contract is saying? And probably no one does, other than the people who have had a legal background and actually went through and read the entire thing, maybe sometimes 2 or 3 times. Like that's the irony of it, is even if you did take the time to go there and read the terms of service, like, you know what you ended up doing? You ended up wasting 10 minutes of your time, and you still clicked the damn button, and you don't know any more than you did if you hadn't clicked it. So
yeah, I don't know. I like, my thing about it is, it's like my dad is a law clerk. And so he, you know, obviously he knows a ton about the law. I don't even think that man reads the terms of service on half the stuff that we.
Dude, nobody reads it. If you read it, like you're just reading it just to make
a list of people that we don't trust, people that read the terms of service all the way through, people that don't like Planet Earth, and people that don't like Cam Toner.
So I'll tell you though, you know why I don't trust the people who read the terms of service? Because they don't trust you either.
That's true. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking you're going to find in there?
You're like, to me, that's like borderline like paranoid.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's borderline. I think it's absolutely paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
I think it's weird to literally read through terms of services, but for those people that just need to know everything that's going on, that they'll read it and they'll be like, okay.
I'll also add one caveat. If your job is in fact to read terms of services, we are not singling you out. That's perfectly fine. You're doing this in the course of your normal day. But if someone's sitting there like,
get a new job, because that job must be boring.
I was going to say, your life career decision. But we're not going to look back. Do what you got to do. Like,
but yeah, if it's Saturday at 1 p.m. and you're like, I'm bored, let me go read some terms of service, I'm questioning everything about you right now. So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one for me.
We
Mark, our buddy Mark wants to know if you would do a trick for us.
You know what? Yeah, all right. I'll do. We'll do a little
right.
here.
Awesome.
So I did. I went out and I upgraded my phone today because my contract was up, and it was like, upgrade the phone or pay for it. And I was like, all right, so we're gonna upgrade. And the sales tax on it, because I didn't have to do a down payment. And we don't need to get into the specifics of me buying a phone, but the sales tax on it was like 40 like $5 or something like that. And I don't know if the 12,000 followers gives people a different perception of who I am, but I had a $46 in my wallet, and I spent the 45 on this phone. So like, that's what we're in.
What, you have cash in your wallet?
I have cash in my wallet. This is the last dollar I have left in my wallet. But the great thing about being a magician is that if I just give it a little blow like that, I can actually change that into a 20. And if you want to learn that for free, it's on my YouTube channel right now. There we go.
There we go. We'll link to that.
We're going to drop it below.
Yeah, we'll drop the link in the comments for sure. So
yeah,
check that out. Nice. Unlimited money. Go get yourself 2 phones.
Yeah, exactly. Phones. One for the respectable women, and the other for my girlfriend.
I don't
know what that means, but okay.
I think he was trying to say your side piece, but
I don't have a side piece. My main piece would cut her.
I'm lucky to have the piece.
First of all,
so like, I'm not trying to.
First of all, I don't know how anybody could have a side piece, because why would you want to have more than one?
It's just
one is a lot of work.
Why are you trying to sneak around and do it? It's not worth it. I don't get it. I don't know.
Man. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend is like an angel, and like, I still can't, like, even imagine why people want to have multiple girlfriends or boyfriends or multiple partners, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my
it's a
God.
lot of work, man. That's funny.
On that delightful note, any last questions in the chat this evening? I gotta say, man, David, this has been an absolute blast. If any last minute questions do come in, we obviously will throw them up. But like, dude, this has been completely not what I expected in the best way possible. And I think I even said that to Steve after our pre-show last week. I was like, dude, like I have no idea what's going to happen with this call because our conversation even pre-show went so many different directions. I knew this was going to be like an awesome, like off the wall, everything talked about show. And it did not disappoint. So it's really been a pleasure, man. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. You know, we've really enjoyed having you on. We're thankful for you to take the time out of your evening to come on. We did have a question that just came in. I think it's perfectly fitting, as emotional as this little diatribe is here. Mark wants to know, what shampoo do you use?
All right, here we go. Here's the secret. It is Tresemme, not Tresemme. I actually don't know. Wait. I'm really gonna have to go. You know what? All right, you entertain the people for a moment. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna go get my shampoo because I cannot remember what it is. I really can't. But we're gonna show it on camera.
Yeah, dude. We want to see your hair products, man.
We want to know.
You know what? This is gonna be this is how we're gonna end this show.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. Let's do it. Caitlin, make sure you get a picture of him holding it up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Which also, Caitlin, thank you so much for the jib jabs. Oh my God.
You're amazing, Caitlin, and
Those
that's your
were
new job from
genuinely
now on.
hilarious. I haven't laughed that hard in so long, but that was perfect.
That was so good.
Guys, as always, we appreciate you guys so much for sticking it out. Honestly, I know you guys take time out of your evening to come listen to us do nothing but chat about random shit here. So we really appreciate it. It's always a fun time, and we do hope that we consider you as much part of these conversations as we hope that you consider yourselves. It's an absolute blast to have you here. And now the question we've all wanted the answer to: what shampoo does David use?
The DK Magician approved hair routine. So you're going to get in the shower. You're going to get your Tresemme. Tresemme.
Tresemme. Do you see me? Tresemme.
Like sashimi, but it's Tresemme. Curl and hydrate shampoo.
All right.
You're gonna get that in. You're gonna do a good rinse, get your hair nice and clean. Then you're gonna get the companion bottle, Tresemme Curl and Hydrate Conditioner.
Tresemme.
And by the way, these bottles are both 28 US fluid ounces. That's almost 800 milliliters. They come in a pack on Amazon. I believe it's like $15, maybe less than that.
Oh my God, my girlfriend will cringe right now. If I showed her what you use, she'd cringe.
But God, yeah, it's like $15. And when you get out, towel dry the hair, and you're gonna finish it off with some Tresemme Flawless Curls Extra Hold Mousse.
Dude, you were like repping the Tresemme, huh? The Tresemme?
Yeah, man, I don't know. My girlfriend put me on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my girlfriend her roommate has like super curly hair, and so her roommate was telling my girlfriend about this, and my girlfriend has like wavy hair. It's not curly, but it has like, you know, waves and does little ringlets at the end and stuff like that. And so she was like, you know, because your hair is curling up now, it's not as straight anymore now you've grown it out. I gotta put you on this Tresemme stuff. So yeah, shout out to my friend for loving me and teaching me how to do my hair. Basically,
nice. Dude, that's a sign of a good woman, man.
She wants you to
that takes care of you. That tells you got
not smell bad. You know what? That's fair play. I don't want to that either.
They gotta trim the neck. They gotta like make sure you're looking good. That's the sign of a real woman. Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
Make sure your shit's together.
Yeah. She's like, you need to do this. You gotta so you can look presentable. But then she's also like, you can't be too presentable because then other women will try and we don't. She's like striking the balance. She's like, we want you to look good, but not like Ryan Gosling good. Like we need like
dude, women aren't stupid. Women are brilliant.
No, they're so much smarter. My girlfriend is so much smarter than me, and I love it. It's great.
Women are smarter than dudes.
Yeah, always. Never. There's like genuinely like I don't get the like people that are like, well, I don't like it when a girl's smarter than me. It's like, bro, I hate to tell you this, all women are smarter than you.
Honestly,
even the dumbest woman is smarter than the smartest. Yeah. Is smarter than the smartest.
There's a comedian. Do you guys know who James Acaster is? Do you know? I'm like obsessed with stand-up comedians. So there's a British comedian named James Acaster, and he has this thing where he says, there's 7 billion people in the world, and one of them, you forget this, but one of them is the worst. There is one person out there that's the worst, and it's definitely a dude. True. Because a woman would have to work so hard to be the worst that she would become the best. Like if a woman was like so bad that she was the worst, it'd be like, all right, no, she's automatically the best because that's incredible. How did you become worse than all men? You're not the best. Like it's just the truth. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
That is funny.
It is the truth.
Yeah. Anyway, shout
Yeah,
out.
Mark said she probably doesn't want you using her shampoo anymore. That's why she got you that.
No, well, we don't live together, so thankfully I'm not using her shampoo. She can't get mad at me for that.
And she's not using yours though, so yeah, you're benefiting there.
Me also being selfish, and she's not getting a handle on this sweet, sweet mousse. So,
Dude, you and I both know if she walked in your room and said, "I want your mousse," to be like, "Okay."
Yeah. She would just walk into my room. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I know what you've come for.
Oh my god.
So, dude, it's good to see a 21-year-old man get it already. That's cool.
You know what? I'm not. Look, I have dated.
You're not the dumbest one in the world. You're not the worst.
I've dated 3 women in my entire life, and I think that I have learned something from each of them. But the one consistent thing is that just I'm wrong. A lot. In fact, all the time, I would say, as I am incorrect about many things, but in a good way, like in like a in a good way with my current girlfriend. Not getting, but like, yeah, you know what? Just it's not. You're always right. It's I'm always wrong.
Yeah, there you go. Very true. On that lovely note.
Yeah, what a great way to end the show on.
That's the perfect way to end the show because you can't say anything better than that.
Mark, thank you again, Mark. We so appreciate your super sticker there. We really do appreciate it, man. Anyone who hasn't liked the video yet, go like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go subscribe to the channel. If you don't follow David on Instagram at DK Magician, go check him out.
We don't trust you. That's another thing we don't trust you for.
Or for people that we don't trust, people that don't like Koehler, people that read the terms of service, people that don't like Cam Toner, and people that don't follow me at DK Magician on Instagram.
There you go. Follow him. Check out everything we talked about. That was just crazy off the cuff in the comments below tonight. We are going to be linking to pretty much everything we talked about. I got a lot of stuff written down on my comment little notepad here. So keep an eye out for that.
I want to add something.
Yeah, what's up?
December 19th.
Yes.
Everybody, check out our 24-hour show. It's going to be off the hook. We got so many guests, so many games, so many cool, fun things planned. It's going to be pretty epic.
You definitely
Me, Tyler, and Jackson Robinson.
There's going to be some fun guests, like Steve said. We got some crazy stuff going on. There's going to be some giveaways. Keep an eye out for it. For anyone who's not following us on Instagram, at Deckin Around, we're going to be dropping a lot of information on it there. Cam says he's going to be there, which means that y'all better be there. And
Bob will be there.
Yeah, we're going to have a blast with this. So before we jump off tonight, guys, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsor, and then we're going to let you know who next week's guest is, because not only are we doing a 24-hour on Saturday, but we're still doing a Thursday show because we're just crazy. So let's check out the ads, and then we'll find out who's on next week.
Yeah. Hummingbird feathers mimics the shimmer of a hummingbird in motion. Meticulously created with a specialized printing process using multiple holographic foils. Stunning tuck design and sculpted embossing with master letterpress creation. Featuring limited, standard, and gilded 3-deck sets. Pre-order yours today at marvelousdecks.com.
All right, and next week's guest, for everyone who's looking forward to it, this is going to be an epic episode. I'm super pumped for this one. Next week's guest is going to be Kevin Cantrell. So anyone who's a big fan of the Citizens deck, of the Standards, of so many great decks that I think are honestly some of people's first decks in the collecting community, we're going to be sitting down with Kevin Cantrell to talk everything playing cards, everything design, and probably go off on random tangents that hopefully lead to crazy conversation. So make sure everyone to tune in next Thursday, December 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we sit down with Kevin Cantrell for another episode of Deckin Around Live.
Heck yeah, that's going to be fun. Thank you very much, David. Thank you, everybody who stuck around and chilled with us. We had a great time. And, dude, appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you.
Appreciate it.
Dude, anytime. And we will see you in the after show, David.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah. Peace.